Hello, everybody. Welcome to the best of 2023.
What's up, stream?
Here we go.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome. So the first thing we're going to be starting off this year is we're going to go over a brief overview of what happened this year. Our 2023 year in review. Zana, do you want to take a
Yeah, we have a very nice slideshow that is exactly this slide that you're going to look at for a little bit. I'm going to be interrupted a little by my dog. Hold on. You can introduce it.
Me? Alright.
Yeah. Sorry, hold on.
Okay. So, well, first things first, 2023. That happened. That was a year that happened. Let's go over some Atlas stats first. Music down? Yes, I can do that. Give me a second. Is this better? But yeah, this is I'm idle. I'm taking over. I'm the one streaming at this time, so apologies in advance if the audio quality mixing isn't the best at times. But yeah,
Idle's the new streamer.
Yeah, so let's take a look at. Let's do some Atlas stats. So this year, 665 maps were uploaded. 520 of those were visible. And there were
we had a bunch of maps. Compared to 2022, it's a little bit smaller of a number, particularly of the Atlas IDs, because in 2022 we had all of the CMP clockwise maps. That was 100 plus, because there were a few messed up versions of them too. So not just the 102. There was a little bit more. But you know, a similar amount of maps on Atlas as 2022. We had a lot more event-related maps. We had 217 were related to events out of the 520 visible maps. 75 of those were from the 12 days of Atlas, just in the last, December. Lots of ramens, as you can expect. Some of those events were about making maps, so lots of ramens last year. We don't have a count on it, but maybe there are a lot of on the ramen tag, perhaps. There are 70 unique map makers that uploaded maps. Those are the Atlas accounts, including any alt accounts, because I'm sure some of you got them. Like, I now have an Atlas account and an alt account in CC5, so that's two new accounts right there.
Let's go. So, another funny stat that I'd like to mention is this year there were 7 supremely difficult 2 uploads this year as well. The really funny thing.
Good example of hidden maps.
Yep. And we have a list of the top 4 map makers this year. So make it
bigger list.
Well, people who uploaded the most. Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yeah,
then?
Let me get the bigger list.
Okay. I'll just say
All
top
right.
4 then.
I got it.
Okay.
So we got Nigalaria with 82, Miles with 63, Not Jake with 51, Hemp with 28, Uckies and Cow had 17, Glass with 15, ESA Summer 23, 14 maps uploaded, Rodent 14 maps, Rexy 12, Zyke 11, Idle 11, all those ramens.
A lot of really good maps.
Adding up. That's everybody with double digits. Lots of maps.
Lots of really good
If you
maps.
didn't make the list, then you can make it this year. For next year. What else interesting stuff happened? Any shoutouts in chat? Want to say anything about things that happened in the year that you liked? We're gonna go through events that happened.
Yeah. Let's see what chat says.
Yeah, East almost with 365 maps. Maybe 2024. Yeah, there were I think some of those are also Nexuses are on that account.
The majority of them are Nexuses, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, from the ESA Nexus. Yeah, well, let's talk about the events that happened. Not counting the best of 2022, the first event that we did last year was a new one, The Last Duster Standing, which is LSD as shortened, because that's what we do with our acronyms. So that event, we might bring it back. I was thinking about bringing it back in the Abrupt Showcase recently. We'll see if we can do it again, something like that, at least. But it went over pretty well. For those unfamiliar, because it was a while ago, it was kind of similar to the Trackmania Cup of the Day challenge, where people race on the same map. There's a new map that comes out, and then everybody they practice it a little bit, and then we play them all at the same time. We do one run. Whoever did the slowest run gets eliminated, and then we do that until we reach the top 2, and then they do a final run for the winner. So that's what Last Duster Standing was. Did that for a few maps. All those maps were made by Epon, who helped put the event together. So, pretty fun one. Good to do something new. If any of you guys have ideas for new events, feel free to, speak up in the community, and we'll see what we can do. Usually I can help put that kind of stuff on. We had DLC 4. There were 2 DLCs because we've gotten it down to a 1 every 6 months kind of deal at this point. So DLC 4, top players versus the world. Plenty of cool action there. That was your first DLC, Idle.
Yes, it was.
What did you think?
I thought it was a really fun time. It was a lot of fun. We had the best team there for sure. VSealings 4, greatest team ever. It was
Not
really
quite the winning team.
well. It was the best in team spirit. It was a
DLC 4 won by Ike Ether. Although the top players won the side of that. Top players versus the world. So shout outs to the top players.
top players on top again.
Yeah. Custom Map Jam 5 with the Europe theme. That was around the same time that we were trying to get maps for ESA put together. So hence the Europe theme. The CMJ was a little bit at the request of Maybetta, from what I remember. So a bit of a partnership between events. Same thing goes for Custom Map Race 64, in which we had a little bit of a competition. Not exactly a competition, but the point of it was if you're gonna make maps that you want to be shown, or that you want to be included in the ESA relay race, which we'll talk about soon, you had to submit your map by the CMR 64 deadline, and the best maps of CMR 64 were to be considered for ESA inclusion. You want to talk any about ESA, fellow ESA people?
Yeah.
Of course. So yeah, this year we had probably the largest in-person gathering of dusters. We went to ESA Summer. It was, when was it? July. July, right?
Yeah, end of July, I believe.
Yes. We were 11, if I remember well. I'm not forgetting anyone.
Something like that.
Yes, like huge number of dusters. Basically, what's it's 1/3 of the community. No, okay. Maybe we're a bit more than that. But yeah, was super fun. We showed a relay of blind maps, which were carefully chosen by a group of basically all that we went to ESA, and also some other volunteers that helped us select these maps and suggest maps. We had a lot of new content for this event. We had custom nexuses made for each of the players, and those were surprises. So it was like a nice effort from everyone to put a really fun show. and we had a lot of fun doing the run. I hope that everyone had fun watching. We also had a lot of good feedback from the people there. Like several people approached me and the others to say like that they had a lot of fun watching it. So like I wanted to say this to all the people who contributed to it, since it was so much work. It definitely like was rewarded by this. But yeah, besides that, we had so much fun hanging out in person. We did like the relay map making. It's some we can see if it was appreciated by the community or not. I remember some streams where people were trying to understand if those maps were even accessible or not. But
Yeah,
it was,
at in-person events, there's a bit of a history of making ramens live and all that, and you never know the quality you're gonna get. Well, you do know the quality you're gonna get, honestly. You never know if it's accessible or not when you're just joking together.
Yes, but yeah, it was super fun. We had a lot of fun hanging out, and I don't know, maybe we can repeat this kind of things in the future. I know that there are already some people who want to do another version of it.
Maybe.
Eyes emoji.
Eyes emoji, yes.
I am looking to do something this summer, possibly.
Awesome. Yes. Also, we had another in-person event.
Yeah,
So this was the big one, and then we had another meetup at Hackathon. We weren't as many. We were only 4 dusters, but it's also a much smaller event, much smaller venue, and we went a bit crazy there because we showed an asymmetric race with a chaos mode. So shout out to Cookies for making it, and was very, very fun and very, very chaotic. I can definitely certify that.
Yeah, that hackathon ended up being in the middle of DLC 5 as well. Fortunately, in the break week timing. Definitely planned for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't actually plan for that, but it worked out. But good timing. Anything else you want to say about hackathon before I move on?
Maybe some.
Yeah, I didn't really have much to say. Just it was a barrel of fun. I hope it gets repeated this year. Thanks to Mebeta for making me aware that this happens, because it was like 1 hour away from where I live, so I could just go up and enjoy myself. Yeah, I would vote for the big Dust Force event offline stuff this year to be happening at Hackathon 2024.
Yeah, it seems like Dust Force is building up a bit of a history at Hackathon. So that's cool.
It would be easier for me to reach than ESA. And yeah, in general, just, I guess, a call to the community to try to make it out to more offline events, because it's really just a lot of fun to meet the people that you've only met online before.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
maybe
to be
one day
honest,
we'll have another NA event.
yeah, these are like super relaxed events, so like everyone is really welcome to join. Of course, ESA is much larger, so a bit there's a bit for everyone there, and like they're really super comfortable to attend for everyone, no matter like the interests. And if you're looking for, even if you're just looking for a vacation, like they are good locations to visit, and you get to meet people, you get to meet people who you have interacted only online, and you get to have fun in the computer rooms.
Yeah, very comfortable. Don't really have to think about much type of vacation.
Oh,
Alright.
and one more thing, check the
Okay.
votes if you have not. Sorry, last thing. Okay.
I mean, you can keep going.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, we're just gonna move on then, I guess. Yeah, going through some of the other events that happened in 2023. There's another custom map jam. Avant-Garde was the theme there. We had a lot of very unique maps. Some of which we may see referenced later, perhaps. But yeah, very unusual maps from that one. DLC 5, as mentioned, ended up being the one with the surprise, Cyber Complex 5, in fact. That was a very fun reveal. A little bit on the history of how that worked. Basically, a couple months before DLC 5 started, yeah, it was about 2 months. Before DLC 5 started, at some point I just had the idea, like, you know what, we can just make some of these maps in advance, and wouldn't it be cool if that were actually a compilation map that we just kind of reveal in the final week? So I secretly reach out to a bunch of map makers, and then it's basically like, hey, do you want to make a DLC map? But you know, just so you know, I'm looking for good maps, and only if they're kind of on board and willing to make a good map. Like, oh yeah, I'm willing to commit to a map. I'm like, oh yeah, but there's another secret. You sure you want to make a good map? And then it's CC5, by the way, and just everybody's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm really on board now. That sounds like a deal. So the secret didn't get leaked, fortunately. Cool surprise week 4. We had our hints out there, but you guys never knew for real. After DLC 5, we had a little bit of a lull though, until the Abrupt Showcase, preparing for this day in a way, for the map competition. The Abrupt Showcase, we raised a bunch of money. The exact number was about $430. I don't remember the exact number, don't have it offhand. But Abrupt Showcase included a bunch of cool marathon-like showcases, various races and all that. It included the Blind Relay Blitz, and we brought that back for some fun competition on some unique maps. The VODs for all these events are on this Dustforce community channel. All the recaps and all that, if you want to relive any, or you know, check out the VODs for the first time. And then to end off 2023, we had the 12 Days of Alice for some more ramens, put on by Miles and not Jake. So 12 themes over the course of December. Every 2 days there was a new theme for people. So more like 24 days, but 12 themes. But that went over really well. And we had quite an active Alice in December with ramens. Big 12 Days of Alice fan in chat right there, Miles.
12 Days of Alice was a pretty fun project. I didn't do much, but it was fun going through and playing the maps. And then I also especially really liked Alex just randomly dropping 100-meter freestyle. Just out of nowhere. Good times, good times.
Well, that wraps up the events. Other things that happened in 2023, competitively speaking, in Dustforce, it wasn't too active of a year. There were a few new players that were breaking into the top 10s, and we got a few new world records and some DLC action, primarily from Plant, Idle, and Mosso. So shoutouts to those 3 for being the 3 upcomers of 2023, and continuing to still play, make their names for themselves, still getting top 10s and all that. there's not much movement on the rankings, despite, you know, some top 10s and some world records. But when it comes to the overall rankings on Dustkid, the total accumulation of all of your PBs, not much action there yet from any of those players. You know, kind of getting into the top 100 areas by doing more ILs of the very many 150 different ILs that are scored. The only noteworthy ranking movement would be Taz getting 5th place now in any percent around the middle of the year, I believe. I don't remember exactly what time. Hard to put a real date on ranking movement changes.
I think it was
without a lot of Dustkid data.
I think it was closer to this. I think it was around the first like 3 or 4 months, if I recall correctly, around that area.
Oh yeah.
I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the year somewhere. It was somewhere in that year, you know.
Yeah.
I think in December. Yeah, it would have had to have been in December. Fishy and I have been like a point or two away from each other in any percent for number 1 for the rankings. With me doing containment, I think I broke the tie. We were tied for a little bit somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but now there's like a 1 point or something difference. And it's really small, so
Let's go.
any PVs will do it.
Congrats.
That's really all the ranking stuff that happened. You know, no big deal on that number 1 though. Very humble. We had a little bit of full game action. Yoda Cage returned briefly for some any percent all levels action. Got the run back. Finally achieved sub 35 with a 3440. That was a few months ago that Yoda did that. So really good to see some full game action, especially seeing Yoda again being active for some full game, not just ILs. Really cementing themselves as a top of all time any percent player in the game. So definitely shout outs to Yoda. I think Yoda's always gone between a lot of different games. Some ultimate action in there as well. Competitive player more than just Dust Wars. You want to show off some world records? Have something on screen for now?
Yes, I'm down.
You know,
Here, let me swap over
time to
Dust
not look
Wars.
at this slideshow. That
Let's
wasn't
go.
a slideshow because
Yeah.
we didn't have slides.
Hey, the slideshow part, it is a slideshow, guys. I just trust this. You'll just see it after the records. So, the first
slide.
So the first record is that we're going to be showing. There's 15 records this year, and we're going to show off quite a few of them. The first one was X Difficult SS by Uckies. Let me get
Yeah,
that up.
there
It's
are
up right now.
15 new records in terms of stock ILs. You can just show them off.
Oh, yeah.
This first one set in January by Uckies, around this time last year. Of the 15 new world records, not too many, or there were a few new names on the list of people setting records this year, which is always nice to see. So we'll go through some of those highlights. Not gonna show them all, but you know, just gonna breeze through some of them, explain some of the unique ones.
So here's Dahlia.
Like any of the ones that, any of the ones like this next one, Dahlia. This one, this is a new update to the any percent route. In that top left, that turkey cycle is only possible to be hit for 4 frames. You might as well show that one again.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that. I'm showing you.
So this is something that we've known about for a bit, and then Camel brought it up when I was talking about SS, and then we just actually did it in any percent. So shouts to Camel for being the one to make us actually grind that for once. There used to be a much harder worth only route, but now as you can see, there's a top 10 that's almost all worths in Dahlia.
Yep.
That's 9 people that have done the route.
I'm gonna start landfill too early.
Yeah.
But
For landfill, this one was actually this was Plant's first world record, that Plant set, but we're showing off the current world record because Plant is not the current world record. Ucky's bopped him right back.
Plant
So,
was the first.
Shout out to Ucky's being competitive.
Plant was the first person to get a sub 17. The Nuckies followed that up by the next date. And then the next map is another map that Plant had record on but got bopped. This one is Combat Tutorial. This one run is by Fishy. It is simultaneously a combined just cleaner run with the strats, with new strats at the end, and then it's just cleaner overall together.
Didn't Fishy bop this one by a pretty significant amount too?
0.7.
Yeah.
Seem to recall. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not a very active year from Fishy compared to some other years, I guess. But you know, we can't always be active. Although I'm pretty sure Fishy still got like 4 records, so.
Also, I forgot to turn
4
music
very
back
impressive.
on. Yeah, I forgot to turn music back on. Here, let me do that. Oops. And then
Got the what?
I had to turn music back on. There wasn't any music in game. And the next one is, well, by me. It's Alcoves SS, my first record. Personally,
Idle not suffering from the same fate of Plant so far, not getting bopped on a record.
yeah, this is my first record. Pretty fun stage. There is room for improvement though. There is some parts I did lose a few frames on, especially the ending is the one part. Another very fun map. Proud of this run. The next run is one by Zonda.
Funny little mistake at the end. That isn't really that much slower.
It's like, I think timed like to be 2 to 3 frames slower, so not the worst thing. But yeah, the next one is one by you, Zonda. It's Core Temple. Take away the explanation as to why you saved a second on this.
Yeah, this is this might be the biggest difference of the year. I didn't really take that into account anywhere. But Core Temple any percent, we've always known that you can go over the top, but we haven't really actually done it. And we definitely haven't done it as worth. For a while we thought it might require twirlies or something like that, but it turns out you can go over the top as worth, and it's really interesting and kind of fast. The reason why it's fast though, on top of everything, is you get to the end pretty quick, but then you got to do the heavies, and the heavies are actually a little bit harder than you might expect. I guess we're gonna watch that again.
Yeah,
but yeah, pretty noteworthy in terms of different route stuff.
I didn't know how much longer you were gonna take to explain it, so I just played it again.
Oh no. But yeah, just showing going over the top one more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Pretty-
you can show the next one.
All right.
You want to talk about the next one?
Oh yeah, backup shift.
Back and forth.
This is my next one. Backup shift. Backup shift is Backup shift is one of my favorite stock maps. It was actually the first map I grinded. My first category. My first top 10. Turn music down slightly. Yes, I can do that. Thank you. So backup shifts was my first stock record.
You mean in-game
Yeah,
music
right on.
or other music? Not
In-
sure if you have any.
In-game music. I don't have the other one there. Yeah, this is my backup shift. 20% was my first time I got top 10 on. Backup shift was my second record. I got this run relatively quickly. I think it only took me like 2 days of on and off attempts. Pretty fun map. Pretty clean run with the strats going for. Sub is definitely possible if going for harder strats, but definitely happy with this for now.
Yeah, backup shift's one of those levels where it's nice and long and good on the execution, so you can always improve a little bit even without strats.
Yeah. The next stage is a Plant record, Grass Cave. This is this is one of the records Plant kept this year.
Yeah, Plant got to keep this one. Plant setting 4 records in total. 2 of them got off. We'll see another one later. And getting a head start on 2024's list, perhaps. I don't think there was anything new in Grass Cave, from what I remember. Aki's was the first one to do the stuff on the left side. But at the very least, you know, good improvement. Really getting that time down there. Always like to see it. Always room to keep going down.
True. the next one is Basement. There's two Basement records this year they're going to share. First is Fresh Maniac getting a record on Basement with Worth.
Yeah, so this has been held by Man for a while. There's been some talk about Worth for, honestly, for quite a while as well. Worth has held the record before in history. Quantum Coral has been grinding this the most as Worth, but Fresh decided to show how it's done by actually getting record. But unfortunately, getting record would not be record for long because Fishy would decide to grind it again as Worth, or again as Man. To,
Also,
give Worth a little bit more of a challenge.
True.
And Fishy's run has a little bit of a strat difference, but it doesn't appear to save too much time. You'll see it when we get there. You can just kind of go through these replays.
One more thing also I want to mention. Plant pointed out that in his run he actually hit all the port quills near the ending, so he was able to get super a bit faster. So he's able to save it.
Oh, nice.
That's the one thing he did. So Fishy does a super there instead of here, and he instead just heavies everything here to save it some time. New strat.
Yeah, I gotta change up the combat in the middle if you don't, if you don't super at all. Quite difficult to make that kind of stuff work out. Ultimately, only saving about 0.1 compared to where record stood about 4 years ago. So. Yep. Plenty of room to go down. This next run is Shaded Grove, any percent. In terms of Shaded Grove, this one had, well, in terms of any records this year, this is the only one that really got any real competitive action in terms of fighting back and forth for the record. And we're left at a pretty good quality world record in this one. Me and Fishy went back and forth on this one for quite a while over the course of a week or two, right after DLC 5. So, pretty good record there, but there's always room to keep going down, like I said. This next one happened a little bit earlier in the year. So, Containment any percent by Yatiers as Worth. Yatiers has been grinding this for a really long time. You guys might not know how much effort Yatiers has put into Containment. And then, not being able to get that frame tie, but out of nowhere getting the one frame better than the frame tie, and then Idle kind of spoiling the result screen of the replay we're about to show next. So that would only be lived for about a few months before it was discovered that there's something new you can do and save a lot of time. And this route's pretty challenging. I made a little video though about it, explaining how it works. At the time, no one else has replicated this, but a very unique change to the route, making it work as girl, and ending with a heavy before the super. Really cool differences there, and all of a sudden I now understand Containment.
And then
so Containment's now a girl level on both SS and any percent somehow.
Yep. And then the final run, the final record this year, set on New Year's Eve, was Plank getting sub 35 on Dusk Run.
Yeah, Plank's second record that stuck. So I think in total we had I can list. Well, actually we deleted some of these from the list. But yeah, in total we had 15 total new records. There were a few that we didn't show because, don't need to show them all, honestly. No big deal, just world records.
True. Also, Tess
cool
said that Yatiers had 556 completed BB rank replays for Containment to show how hard he grinded.
Yatiers has played a lot of Containment, and now we'll see if Yatiers wants to play it again in Skirl. Which you're not going to get many completed replays on Containment as girl, because that route will not work unless you get it right.
So,
but other than world records, we got a few more noteworthy replays to show off. So last year we showed off a lot of runs on levels that were first SS, removing them from the Alice Most Wanted list. The first one we have to show off is by Uckies on Spiky Spike Spikes, a Slish map. And there are 2 versions of this map. It's kind of quick, but there are a lot of little tricky things going on there.
Yep.
Not many levels are removed from the Most Wanted list in 2023, but we got another replay to show at least.
Yep.
The Pulvis Vis maps came out at the end of 2022, and thus were SS for the first time in 2023. We're gonna show off Extraction. This is the map by Alex Speedy, replayed by C. First player to get the SS on this one as a non-magic. Of the 4 maps, 3 of them currently have SS. Plant is currently working on Techniche, the final one. And then hopefully that happens soon. We'll see some more Plant streams.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard maps.
For anybody, yeah, for anybody who hasn't played this map, this is about 100 times harder than it looks in like just about every section.
Oh,
Yeah, good puzzle on top of that. These are spoilers, by the way.
Oh.
So if you play
Yeah,
it yourself, don't try to remember this.
So,
All of this stuff like just barely lines up so that it works. It's honestly crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. There were also a few other maps we're not going to show because they're really long replays. Like Yada with Tires was removed from Alice Most Wanted, thanks to Uckies. Skyhawk SS4 of the hidden Dustforce DX. That was completed. We had Avenged also with a shout out for CC4 replay.
Yep.
Got the SS there.
And the next run we're going to be showing is a pretty good custom record that the runner himself has been talking about quite a bit in certain chats. JVC's Rufen. Pretty good run.
Yeah,
Oh,
although not
hell
not removed from the Alice Most Wanted, the noteworthy kind of replay. If JVC were here, he would say, "Bought me on Rufen."
Yep.
Directed at usually Camel.
Sometimes Fishy.
Fishy was the last person to do it, but JVC a little scared to ask Fishy to bop because he thinks it might happen again. So if any of you guys want interesting competition on Rufen, is that there are also 5 new Infini SS world records, or not world records, SSs.
So,
yeah.
I can list them off. So 3 of them were who were pretty active in our community. This is Not Jake, Avenge, and Callistus. Congrats to you 3. There were 2 more people as well, Natalie and Narnian. They're from Challenge Enthusiasts, which Challenge Enthusiasts is a group dedicated to getting hard achievements, and one of those achievements is SSing Infini. Congrats again to everyone. Infini is not an easy map to go for SS on. There's
Yeah,
still
we've
less
had
than
an
50.
interesting overlap from people discovering the game and Challenge Enthusiasts. So hopefully that continues in the future. You
Yeah.
guys should check it out yourselves if you enjoy that kind of stuff.
Fun stuff. So that
Yeah,
right
that wraps up the replays to show off.
now it's time to go back to the slides. Goodbye, Dust.
Let's see some
back to
slideshow.
Welcome back to
No, not
2023
Dust
interview.
first. Let's see that slide again.
Yep,
Well, let's move on one more slide. Yeah,
Alright.
just one.
just one. All right, here. Now it's time for the 2023 Community Awards, everybody. This right here, it is now time for this. So, so the first award
Yeah,
we
we
want
had
to
our
mention.
poll. So in the Dust Force Discord, we had a poll of a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about most of the questions that were on there for the community awards. The first one up is Duster of the Year. We had a variety of responses to just about every question. Some of them had majority for an answer, some of them didn't. Duster of the Year, there were a few unexpected results. Not too many crazy ones, I guess, but we at least had a nice number 1 for Duster of the Year.
Oh yeah, by the way, quick question. Sorry for interrupting. How should I like show this off? Should I just wait for your cue to like show the winner?
Yeah, I guess just reveal when it's the answer is said.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just kind of feel it out.
Sounds good.
But yeah, the number one duster of the year was Plant.
Woo! Congrats,
With
Plant.
all that ado.
Plant was the duster of the year. A lot of people who were
Yeah.
also high up in the ratings were Zonda and myself too. Other people who were high enough on the ratings, but Plant, as Zonda mentioned, had the clear lead. Congrats, Plant.
Yeah.
Everyone's spamming Plant emojis.
Shout out to Plant, really making a name in the Dust Force community, catching the eyes of people in 2023. Hoping for more, perhaps.
Yeah. What a gamer for a new Duster of the Year.
Absolutely insane. So next award
yeah.
was New Duster of the Year. So
Yeah, similar to Duster of the Year, we have a new Duster that has joined recently. Plant has actually joined recently, and in fact even got a couple votes in New Duster of the Year, but for some reason was only a Duster of the Year and not a New Duster of the Year.
yep.
And despite being a runner-up in New Duster, did not win, unfortunately. Not new enough, perhaps. Our New Duster of the Year is our current streamer, filling in for me. It was Idle.
That's me. Woo! I
Okay,
also,
want to talk
Let's
about why
go.
you deserve this?
I played the game
Or
too
would
much.
you like to humbly accept your reward?
I play the game too much, and I like certain stages.
All right.
I also want to give another shout out to Maso as well, who is another new player who has definitely been climbing up the ranks.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to Maso and Plants as well, because they both are really good new players as well.
Yeah, I'm also going for more of those top 10s, plus of the world records, making a little bit more of an impact so far in terms of quantity, but not quite quality. Not quite yet.
Yeah, Maso started playing like a few months ago. Like he played after DLC 5, I think, or around the time DLC 5 started.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one is the Streamer of the Year. So
Yeah, so not the biggest year for streamers. So we had a variety of people that were listed, but you can reveal the Streamer of the Year. Who could it be?
okay, let's see who it is. It's us, the Dust Force community. Woo! And by us, I
Woo.
mean mainly Zonda, because Zonda was the main one streaming this year.
Yeah. But we have shoutouts to some of the other streamers in the community. Cow streaming quite often. Ucky's streaming the occasional Atlas SS attempts, going through all of Atlas. Worth WWs. Deserved. I got a vote or two. Plant's been streaming. There's always some beta action out there. A little less Dust Force in 2023, but we'll bring it back. They better forgot to vote. Couldn't vote for yourself in time. Too bad.
Sad. No bribery. Well,
Yeah.
what's next?
But I think, Maybetta was streamer of last year. I don't remember how Maybetta did in the next category, Memer of the Year. Did pretty well. But Memer of the Year in 2023, there are some memers out there. So for some of these, it's not actually labeled in what I'm looking at, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh.
for some of these, I don't actually remember. Oh,
So-
okay, I see.
So there was
I got it up.
there is a tie for Memer of the Year. Actually, there is a
Yeah.
tie. So without further ado, let's say who they are: Niglaria, J-Dude, and Cow. Congrats, y'all! Niglaria
Yeah.
making Dick Force, creating 70 maps for those this year. J-Dude making always a lot of really good maps, like for example Super and 5, and then Cow.
Also a prominent streamer. Streaming yesterday.
prominent streamer. And then Cow as well, making a lot of really good maps, like not what it's like what it seems, not what it seems, and I'm probably missing more others. So yeah, it's probably a lot more missing, but yeah, all great memers, and glad to have y'all win those.
Yeah. I'm sure if any of you aspiring memers in chat want to meme it up in 2024, there's plenty of opportunity. to get on this list yourself. You know, lots of opportunity in the Discord and Atlas, especially for memes. We'll go through some of those memes soon enough.
So the next category, what are the map makers of the year? So for this year,
something a little more serious.
So this is the community decided map maker of the year. We decided to go for the top 2 on this because, yeah. So
yeah, we had a little bit more of a direction for kind of both in map maker of the year. This time, there are a lot of shout outs to people like not Jake and myself, but for number 2 map maker of the year, we have our Reliable C. For second map maker of the year, it made some really high quality maps in Sandstone and Derelict, as pictured there.
Made a lot of made good maps for 12 Days of Ramen, 12 Days of Atlas 2, and Blue Shift. A lot of really good maps this year as well.
Yeah, but our number 1 map maker of the year is the number 1 ramen map maker of the year in Miles. So Miles, right behind Naglaria in terms of number of maps on Atlas, voted for map maker of the year 2023.
Great work to both of y'all.
Keeping Atlas alive. That's what Miles desires.
Oh yeah, I guess one thing I'll mention real quickly is back to see the map on the left. This one is Sandstone. The one on the right, this is Derelict. For Miles, the one on the left is Amancita, and the one on the right is Ruined Chambers. I just want to real quickly mention those. Congrats to both of y'all for your great work on making maps this year. The next category was new map maker of the year. So
yeah, I made a few jokes about new map makers of the year that apparently have come true. But we do have a runner-up in DCBC 1000 with some votes being a recent map maker on Atlas.
Yeah, making maps like EU Diplomatic Meeting and the Icy maps like Icy Forest, Icy Mansion, stuff like that. And
yeah, meme contenders for sure.
And the number 1 new map maker of the year is Zonda with Prism Tower and being the lead contributor and the project lead for CC5.
Yeah, fun fact, I made an Atlas account in 2023.
Only took him...
That happened like the day before CC5 came out. Thanks for not taking my name on Atlas. Thanks for not sniping that and impersonating me.
Only took 11 years.
Yeah. So, I've now contributed to Atlas. Not just, like, Nexuses.
Yep. The next category...
I have technically made Nexus maps before.
So, the next 2 are going to be the community awarded best maps of the year. This is going to be different from the judging, the other map making judging, and the one where you get money from. But this is what the community voted for the best maps of the year.
Yeah, this is the popularity contest. We listed all of the maps that were on the best of 2023 list. There were 50 of them. You can check them all out in the community Nexus as well. For second place, we have quite a tie. There are a bunch of maps that all got voted. Let's check out some of the second place ones. We have 100 meter freestyle, Blue Shift, Chronostatic Arboretus, and Derelict were all favorites by people. But we have a pretty clear number 1 in terms of favorite map of the year by the community. A little bit expected, perhaps.
And
Cyber Complex 5.
By a lot of people. A lot of people made this map.
There are not many categories that had a majority of people vote for the same thing. But this was a year of CC5.
Crazy, I know. Pretty good map. Well, it's shocking that it won. So...
yeah, go check it out. Pretty well polished.
So...
it's a map that I helped make.
So, the next one, the ramen map. So, one of the things we were originally planning on doing for the community award, not the community awards, the Basically, one thing
An
we're putting-
original side category for the competition. I pitched to the judges we would have a best ramen map category, and the criteria that I gave to the judges, whether this would be valid or not, would be one: we will do this category if and only if you can come up with a clear definition of a ramen map, and to be able to explain that on stream when we get to the best ramen map reveal, because you're gonna have to defend that criteria forever. What clearly defines the ramen map, which is obviously a meme. It's a joke that we're taking it a little seriously. Obviously that didn't happen. There was no best ramen map side category. It was a little too hard to define. So we posed the question to the community, and we had a variety of answers in terms of what defines a ramen map. There were a lot of jokes about, the ramen quality itself in terms of, it should have noodles.
a lot of us
common
will.
response. There are some references to a time limit that was made in a lot of places. Let me read off some of these answers, perhaps.
Go ahead.
What is a ramen map? A map made in one session or under 2 hours, under 1 hour. Quality might be a little lacking. Ramen sounds kind of yummy. It's a food map. It has noodles. It's under 2 hours. Made out of noodles. So, honestly, it might be a little hard to pick best ramen map, and we have a variety of answers for best ramen map. But ultimately, the best ramen map, we just summed it up by the Ramen Nexus, which satisfies all of these conditions.
This was the most voted option. The ramen
it was in
Nexus.
fact the winning vote as well. The Ramen Nexus
Yeah.
is the best ramen map, which contains a lot of maps that all meet those criteria. They have noodles represented by the map names at the very least, and they were all made with strict time limits. It was a group project by Miles, Jake, Cow, Idle, and Temp. That's the correct 5, right?
Yes. The limits for the maps were there was a 15-minute map, a 30-minute map, a 45-minute map, an hour map, and one map where each of us had 20 minutes to make a section, and we pass it along to the next person.
Yeah, and if you're interested in playing the Ramen Nexus, you can find it in the Community Nexus gallery. I think it's in the bottom left.
It is the it's the most recent one on the
yeah.
bottom left.
Yeah, go check it out. Lots of ramen maps.
Mhm.
They also made a compilation ramen.
Pretty
So-
fun. Pretty fun map. Might be a bit biased though.
Yeah, not just ramens on Atlas, but ramens in the Nexus as well.
A lot of ramen too. And the next category is the events. They were, as at the start of the stream mentioned, there were a lot of events this year. There were quite a few of them. But what were the favorites this year? Well, the number 2 favorite
Second place was the one related to ramens. Right at the end of the year here.
12 Days of Atlas.
12 Days of Atlas.
Yeah. There was 12. There was, as mentioned earlier, there were 12 sections of 2 days, each with a specific gimmick. Here's a list of all the gimmicks and the times. There were 75 maps made for this, and a lot of them. It really helps keep Atlas alive. Really fun maps. Go check. I recommend checking them out if you are interested in playing custom maps. The next one, the favorite event, was Dustforce Custom League 5. Or as I accidentally put it in the poll, Dustum Custom League. Oops.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people enjoyed DLC 5. There were a lot of votes for DLC 4 as well. DLC is just the very reliable event of the community at this point. So, not too surprising. Not an upset at this point for favorite event. But DLC 5 had the CC5 buff. A lot of good maps were made for DLC 5, and people seem to have appreciated that.
Yep. The gimmick alongside the CC5 was that each time you were able to pick a specific team, you're able to compete on as many teams as you wanted, or you can go entirely alone. Fun gimmick, pretty
Yeah.
fun gimmick. in my
Yeah, we
opinion.
change up the rules every time. We'll change them up again.
Yeah. And this is Team V Ceilings finally won, so this makes us the best best team ever. Shout out V Ceilings. So
But what they didn't win is this next category,
Team of the Year.
and that's number 2 Team of the Year. The second favorite Team of the Year was in fact not even from this year.
The
We
Z
have
team.
some representation from the Z team.
The Z team.
Yeah, we got some loyal fans, some loyalists in chat as well, pronouncing it how they want to pronounce it. Some say the Z team, some say the Z team. People like to type out the Z team a lot more than the Z team, though.
As Big Diesel puts it in chat, really more of a cultural phenomenon than a team at this point, and I'd agree. And
Yeah.
Team of the
But
Year.
we have a very competitive comparison between these two teams, not just in terms of the aesthetic, but how much they're memed on at this point. Actually winning Team of the Year was Team V Ceilings,
Team V Ceilings, baby.
and we had votes for. We had the most votes for Team V Ceilings. We also had votes for V Ceilings 4 and V Ceilings 5. So V Ceilings finally overtaking, in fact, the other teams, winning a
VC
category, winning a week out of DLC 5. So no more V Ceilings curse, perhaps.
V Ceilings sweep
Now they're
incoming,
only gonna
everybody. V Ceilings sweep incoming, everybody.
All they do is keep winning.
Yeah, we have
Who will
not.
stop them?
We have never lost as V Ceilings 5, so that means every number higher than that. We will
That was
never
the only
lose.
number that could have won as well.
Yep. 5 Ceiling 5. So what's the next one? The most anticipated. So
Yeah, so what's going to happen in 2024? To give you an idea of what happened in 2023 that was anticipated, CC5 did actually happen. Some events did actually happen. There are a few things that made the list as most anticipated again that you're able to vote on, like some Nexus ideas. Maybe Dark Force will finally happen. You never know. Events are always going to happen some way or another. But what are the ones that really captivate the audience? That people really are so anticipating that they have to vote. Right?
and this it was a 3-way tie for first place, and those are Dark Force, DLC 6, and Arb's Yada SS stream. All very
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything there. We got events, we got memes, we got Dark Force. You never know when any of these are going to come out, except for DLC 6. You can expect when those come out.
also.
Those are every 6 months.
Shout out to Tashi for making the Dark Nexus art. Very good art. And one thing I want to mention about Dark Force is, well, I'm not sure if Niglaria is still going to keep doing this, but he did mention sometime during Dick Force that once he was done with Dick Force, he would try and resume Dark Force as a project. So maybe once he finishes Dick Force, you might see more Dark Force action. There is a link to the server.
There's always been a little rumbling for Dark Force, but
Yeah,
we haven't seen the action quite yet.
there'll be a finish eventually, guys. Trust. I hope. So,
Perhaps one day it'll move on from most anticipated.
and it'll be best event of the year. So now best clip. I need to go. I'm gonna need to go mess with something.
Yeah, let's show off some clips. We're gonna. Are they showed off one at a time or?
I'm gonna click the link and I'm gonna click the link and show them off. I'm gonna need a split second to do that because I forgot to
Alright.
set up earlier. But the best clips.
Well, we
this
got 3 clips to show real quick. The 3 best clip winners.
Great. Thank you, Miles, for the. So, the best 3 clips this year were people at ESA singing Elvish Piper Academy, Maybetta's clip called "This Game Sucks," and Ucky's playing a quality map. Give me a split second. I will go I will go open these up in the proper tab. Proper stream quality, as you can tell.
One moment.
Yeah. And then Hellish Piper Academy.
There are a lot of other clips from 2023 that were listed in the poll, so you can go check them out in announcements.
Cal
Not
also has
gonna link them all, but we got them all.
So Cal actually DM'd me a lot of good clips too. So if Cal was here, I think it might be a good idea to post those clips in the general chat. And Tess did bring up a good point. 100 Grass Cave clips, but unfortunately, Tess, that is 100 clips and not one. That is the unfortunate caveat to that. All right,
No one voted for it.
I should be fine. Let me go change window capture real quickly. And then, all right. So, the first clip. Wait, let me go to transition. All right, let me know, guys, if there's any issues with this. My apologies. It is a little scuffed, but the first clip was Hellish Piper Academy, and I'll just play it.
Wait, that's like fucking.
Good.
No.
Oh, wait, the clip's 30 seconds. What else is after this? Oh, wait, there's more. Oops.
There's a part 2 of what? Oh, wait, there's a part 2.
I feel like we need the original file for this somewhere.
True. So that's the end of that. The next clip is This Game Sucks by Uckies. This is from a 3-player race, and I'll just let the clip speak. When the 3-player runs, I'll let this clip speak for itself.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's a 1 minute.
Oh, take it.
How is it going?
What is this game?
What was happening?
Oh, you need to see that, Vegeta. You need to see it.
This is so good. I love this clip.
Are we just gonna show her? Oh wait. Oh, we're watching the replay? Oh.
Wait, how do I switch camera?
F9. F9.
9.
Look at that.
Great casting being a little mean this time.
That's beautiful.
And then the final clip is This Game Sucks by Uckies. This is from his Atlas streams, and this is him playing a quality map.
This actually looks like kind of a quality map. I shouldn't say anything.
There are a lot of good clips that we weren't able to show here. There are a lot I would have loved to show as well, but for time purposes, we won't. I can get a list of all of the clips that were shown here as well after the stream, if you guys want some more good clips.
Yeah, we can post again in the Dustforce channel in Discord.
Yeah.
An easier place to put it. That last one by Ucky is definitely reminiscent of many old maps, those kinds of blind drops. I definitely remember that old one. I think that was from one of the first CMRs, in fact. But if you want to see more clips like this, we gotta have more Dustforce streams, more Ucky's Atlas streams and all that, more events. So, I look forward to more streams in the future.
What's next? Oh yeah, the favorite meme this year. Favorite meme.
Yeah, favorite meme. Let me see if there are many responses to this one. I think this one wasn't. There wasn't too much response to this one. But we did have. Yeah, we had some love for this one meme. There was an alt account, perhaps, or a very suspicious user on Atlas. who goes by I Love String Beans, that released a few maps, winning favorite meme. Got a few votes for meme of the year. Go check out this person's account for some interesting Atlas action, some Atlas comments. Has commented on a variety of maps on Atlas.
They really
We have
want.
some String Beans fans in chat.
They really want to sell beans. So if you guys are ever in bean needs, reach out to I Love String Beans on Atlas. Maybe make a map. Maybe that'll summon them back.
Very suspicious, somehow experienced Dust Mod user. I Love String Beans. Who could it be? We may never know. Is it just Slish's alt? Has moved on to Dust Mod levels now? I don't know. Who does know? No one knows.
We will know. We will never know unless the person comes forth. But why would you come forth? That ruins the experience.
Yeah. This is Slish's main account, perhaps.
Drake knows who it is. All right, guys. Drake knows who it is. So,
Yeah.
if you want to
We
figure
have
it
our
out,
ideas out there.
if you want to
Uh,
figure it out, just bother Jake. Don't actually bother Jake. Don't actually bother him. All right. So the next slide.
Big drawing aggro.
Oh wait. I guess also now would be a good time to bring up Slish as well, since that was one thing too. That was asked him.
Yeah, is this when we wanted to do that?
Yeah.
I guess it's related now. It is the last one. There was also the Slish question for fun, just to see if there are any interesting responses there. Right at the end, some of the last one came in to make a reasonable answer to most likely to be Slish. We could have made a slide for this after all. Now that there are a few more votes. But speaking of alt accounts, the person voted to be most likely to be Slish with an astounding 3 accusations out of 20 is JVC. So only a few people seem to think it's JVC, perhaps. No slide for it, but
Zonda and I were
who is Slish? I don't know.
Zonda and I were the lead
I love
interrogators. We were the lead interrogators, and we brought forth these accusations to JVC. And his response, he's not here, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to say it for him. His response was, do people really think that he would be willing to make that much effort in maps, or just even make maps in general? And that was JVC's response. Make of that as you will.
Yeah, he's just like Jake's drawing that string beans aggro. We got JVC drawing that Slish aggro at the moment.
There are also 2 people who replied to Slish with me. Just the words.
There are a few people that claim to be Slish.
Maybe Slish is multiple people.
Honestly.
Maybe Slish is just a figment of our imagination. We won't actually know.
Yeah,
But
we got some shoutouts. Some people also seem to think it's Fresh or Skyhawk or Temp. You know, there are other accusations out there, so you guys are not safe.
everyone here might secretly be Slish. And
That could be everyone.
I guess the one more thing, I guess another thing I want to mention was, for most anticipated, at 3rd place was Slish's
yeah.
return. Slish's return was voted to be 3rd, and the one thing I want to mention about that is the Slish lore. On Slish's most recent map, let me go double check to make sure what it is. Slish's most recent map, Creepy Cave 13. And JV cease and desist. He mentioned he's going to school for copyright law. Going to law school takes roughly around 3 years. So we should see
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. So we
I
should
thought
see.
it was longer than that.
So we should see Slish coming back in 2025, assuming he hasn't swarmed with copyright law stuff. But
Yeah. Maybe there'll be a J-Dude cease and desist coming up soon. Is
Yeah.
That other creepy cave.
watch out, guys. You never know.
Or if you guys want to bring back Slish, maybe make your own creepy caves and hasten the process. I don't know.
You never.
J-Dude started with 24. You want to make 25, go right ahead. That'll certainly provoke a response.
Yeah. And yes, Temp, I also hope Slish's grandma's doing well too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, now after that, we are now done with the community awards. Now we're onto the map making competition side of the awards.
Yeah, so that was all the fun stuff. I guess we'll talk about slightly less fun, slightly more serious stuff. The map making competition. It's a map competition. It's not a map making competition. I can't believe this guy titled it this way.
Oh no. Yeah, not my fault. I'm blaming everyone else
Yeah,
but me.
it must be Rodent's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always call them map competitions, and I think it's funny when people say it's map making.
It's fine. I mean, it was map making in
yeah,
2023.
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, people say their own thing. But the map competition, we had some side categories that we're gonna show off first. There were 4 side categories, and then we'll get into the main category with the big results in the action. Do you have all your plays that you were gonna show ready? On
I
the
do.
side,
I do.
By the way.
I do.
Okay.
So.
All right. So the first one that we have is best audio. I don't know if you have anything in particular to show for that one.
I was just going to play some music of the winner.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about each of the finalists for each category. And for this one, we had we originally had some representation, some of the multiple CC5 maps, but we kind of trimmed that into just Cyber Complex 5. Music and sound effects by Cyber Complex 5, made by Epon.
I guess Rowan and I didn't check
like
fully.
that,
We got names wrong for Rhythm Force. Oops. Aki's made Rhythm Force, not Big Diesel.
Whoops.
Not my fault. It's
Too
still-
late now. It's Big Diesel's credit.
Yo, congrats, Big Diesel. Congrats on making
Yeah,
Rhythm
good job,
Force.
Big Diesel, for being a nomination for Rhythm Force. I'm glad that you were able to steal the map.
Yeah. Watch out for Aki's. Hopefully he doesn't go after you for that.
Yeah. But, I mean, Luckies should probably watch out for Nintendo with this Rhythm Force map. You never know with Nintendo. Rhythm Force, there are 2 versions of the map. Rhythm Force Shoot 'em Up is a mini game in Rhythm Heaven, and there are 2 stages in it that have maps now by Uckies. And it's an adaptation of the Rhythm Force mini game. So, cool adaptation there from Uckies. I mean Big Diesel. We have 100-meter freestyle by Alex Speedy with some great 3D audio and very ambient sounds. Very good choice of sounds by Alex Speedy. I like the audio design on that. Really makes you feel immersed. And then Wonder of Blue has 2 soundtracks. One by Epon, the default music. A lot of people's favorites of the year in terms of the song itself. And then a wonderful track put together by Maybetta, Down with the 1%. Is Maybetta still around? Maybetta, do you want to join real quick again and talk a little about that, from putting that together? I don't know if you want to say anything about it. If not, no big deal.
If you also
Yeah.
just want to say something in chat, I'm down to read it out loud for everyone else.
Yeah. Down to the 1%.
Okay, maybe I joined. Welcome.
Yes. That's some stream delay. Yes, we did this collab. It was a bit technically challenging because like we were trying to sing on top of a track without like everyone was doing it by themselves, so it was like a challenge to then bring everything together into a single track, but it was a really nice project.
Do you remember how many people in total there were? Roughly? It was a big project.
4 or 5.
Cool surprise.
They
5.
should be credited. I should check out the.
They're probably on the Atlas page.
Yeah.
perhaps.
I'll go get that up real quickly. I'll get it real quickly and check. Enjoy keyboard noises. So there were 5 people singing. There was Cow, iBums, Game Duck, I Heart Cake, and Maybetta. Those were the 5 people singing, according to the Atlas page.
Alright. Well, unfortunately, they did not do a good enough job for number 2. Our number 2 best audio. We have our top 2 for each of these side categories, by the way. Number 2 best audio went to 100 Meter Freestyle by Alec.
The 3D audio was very nice. It added a lot of realism, and it really helped to boost the experience of the map and the audio. Really good.
Yeah, if it weren't for the audio, it'd feel a lot less polished, honestly.
Yeah, really good audio.
Audio is really what makes this map
There's
as immersive as it is.
And the number 1 best audio was Cyber Complex 5. The music was composed by Epon. And the reason that Cyber Complex 5, the reason why Cyber Complex 5 was rated highly was because of, well, the map has 4 well-made tracks, and there's also a version of the final track for if you're on SS Pace. I will play some of it right now. Let me go mute the media source and play some of Week 2's song, Nazareth Synthesis. Let me go turn the music on in game.
Yeah, Epon did a great job over the few months preparing for CC5, composing more than just those 4 songs. There were a few versions that didn't quite make the cut. And then week 4, as stated, there are multiple versions of that track, and there are a lot more versions than made it into the map. In fact, in Rhythm Tower, there's a 3rd version that's not in CC5. It's kind of in between both of the versions. The one that's kind of calm, that is not on SS Pace, the one that's on SS Pace, and the titled Epic version. So, great job to Epon. I look forward to doing that kind of dynamic audio stuff wherever we can in maps. Audio is something that I really wanted to push the category, so I'm glad we had some good entries for it. And I look forward to people attempting to make more good audio in maps.
Oh yeah, by the way,
Look forward to 2024.
I'm going to keep playing Nazareth Synthesis song for a bit longer. Let me know how the audio is. I'm going to go. Just let me know how it is. If it's too loud, let me know. The next category was the best event map. So
yeah, for best event map, we do have a little bit of a map missing from the list. We did exclude CC5 because that might have done pretty well, I guess, in best event map. But we wanted to see what the best event map was that wasn't CC5. So we went through all these maps as well. We have Blue Shift by C from Team Top Players in DLC 4, also known as Team Top Map Makers, which is Top Players plus C. We had C as our special guest map maker for the top player team, who helped out with doing Blue Shift himself. We kind of assisted a tiny bit, but not too much. Just kind of let C do his thing with Blue Shift. And C also contributed to the art of Urban Undergrowth by Camel. Also Team Top Players for week 3 of DLC 4. Urban Undergrowth with a very different theme. The overgrown area, a lot of pillars was the theme of week 3. Narrow was the theme for Blue Shift's week.
Yep.
So, 2 cool DLC 4 maps. Both of them also had cool secrets that were special side leaderboards for before each week. Urban Undergrowth's low percent and Blue Shift's Apple SS. Very unique stuff that we had in the levels. So, really cool additions for those. Chronostatic Arbor by Arbitrary Asian was the intro to DLC 5. The representative there. When I was I might talk about this more later, but when I was talking with Arb about Chronostatic Arbor and the early design of it, this was the one map that probably the most of us kind of worked hard on, this one section, because we really wanted CC5 to start off strong, and we knew from the start it was going to be the start of CC5 and the first map to show off in DLC5, so we really needed to start off with a bang, and we did a pretty good job at it. Fog Mountain by Epon was one of the 3 maps from Last Duster Standing a year ago, and that one had a unique script on it as well at the time for some cloud particles in the background. They're big particles, they're images. So cool little effect with the fog. It also just worked really well for its event. Last Duster Standing was a good kind of quick event for routing. So levels like Fog Mountain did well because it was unclear what exactly was the fastest strat, and you had limited time to figure it out, having to compete with other players. So it was a good a mix of everything for Last Duster Standing. The Lab Chaos, the 4th map in the Chaos, re-uploads of the Dustforce DX Nexuses. This one was in BRB3. We had 2 newer players play it, Hobo and Dill. Had a fun to watch race on the Lab Chaos. It was very interesting to watch our newer players have to deal with the craziness of chaos. I'm sure they had a good time. Maybe not at the time, but in retrospect, it's one of those things that you can just look back on and be like, that was a really funny thing that we had to go through together. And finally, Trash King's first task by Big Diesel was a CMJ6 map with the avant-garde theme. A very unique way to play Dustforce. You are taking the role of Trash King, and you're attacking a lot of buttons in order to advance a tool-assisted speedrun. So, very impressive map jam map by Big Diesel there. Any other comments on any of the maps?
Did you mention Urban Undergrowth?
Yeah,
Oh.
I paired that with Blue Shift.
Oh, sorry. I don't really have any other comments. I think you struck everything. You mentioned everything that I wanted to mention.
I wasn't even a judge in this category,
Yeah. It's not,
but I did the events.
So if there was a person who really worked on CC5 for the judges, there is a good chance that they weren't on it, like even if they worked on it at all, even if they didn't work on that one part. Not always.
To be more specific, how judging works, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail in the real categories. If you made a map and it goes far, you're not allowed to vote on the category. So I was a little biased by running basically every event of the year. So I was not a judge for most things. But I did put it together, so.
Yep.
We have our judges, our many judges listed later to thank for all of these categories.
So, the second place for best event map was Urban Undergrowth by Camel and Sea. Very fun map with a very cool secret that was used for one of the categories. It was a low % secret, very fun map.
Yeah, shout out to myself, secret third map maker on the list.
The
making the secret.
Yep.
Making Camel make the secret more appropriately. I just made the script for it.
And then, give me a second, let me go reopen switch to. And then
Urban Undergrowth was a real standout for DLC 4. It was the most chosen favorite map in the DLC 4 post poll. A lot of people like the low % uniqueness, and we've tried to carry that on since then with some of the unique stuff in DLC 5 with the invert keys and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to doing more of that kind of stuff in the future of DLC 6. So Urban Undergrowth kind of shaping some of the future of DLC thanks to its side leaderboard and overall polish.
And the best event map of the year was Chronostatic Arbor by Arbitrary Asian. It set a very good tone for what DLC 5 would be like. It was an appropriately difficult red key time. Very fun map, a lot of really fun gameplay, a lot of really good aesthetics, and I think Zonda can probably mention how much he worked with Arb, Epon, and Big Diesel to make sure that this map was as good as possible.
Yeah, like I said, we really needed to set the starting tone of DLC 5 strong. And I was especially hard on it because I knew it was going to be the first section of CC5. Chronostatic Arbor also has 2 versions of the same map. This version is the map as it was made for the event, the one without any spikes, because we were trying to hide the fact that these were actually CC5 sections. We're going to show replays for each of the winners for each of the categories, so if you want to switch to that, I can describe a little bit more.
Here, I will transition. Let me go open up the replay. This is the world record run by Fishy. Wait, let me just run sound effects real quickly. Here we go.
Yeah, so in DLC 5, this was the resulting world record. It might look a little bit empty, a little bit different to those players used to CC5 at this point. But that's totally normal, don't worry. And we have the section that did not actually have a super, right next to the section where we did super. So it made for an interesting little routing puzzle. There's also the low direction any percent side category. There's also the plugin no air charge as a puzzle. Those both went over well. I very much liked how the no air charge puzzle went. It took a while for people to figure that one out. Really set a good tone in more ways than just map quality. We really blew people away with starting DLC 5 off strong.
Yep. I also concur that the challenge was very fun. No air charge was fun, and the no direction challenge that Miles and I did was another highlight. Really fun time. Really fun puzzle to just go back and forth. Yeah, that was you too. Yeah, really fun. And great work again to Miles and Team Execution for winning that. The route y'all came up with was really good and very impressive. They had quite a big lead over me, over like half a second lead. Good work, Miles.
All right. Let's move on to best technical achievement.
Real quick question though: should I keep the do you think I should keep the CC5 music, or should I go back to the other Dust Force stuff music? What do you think?
You can just leave this one playing for a bit.
All right.
We'll switch them in time.
All right. So yeah, best technical achievement.
Yeah, we got 8 maps that were nominated for best technical achievement. 100-meter freestyle, of course, by Alex, already talked about. It really can't be understated how unique this map is and how polished the way it works is. I think what else is there to really say about it? The way that it handles 3D and the polish on top of it is really just on another level when it comes to maps that we've seen in Dust Force before. Big surprise from Alex Speedy right at the end of the year. Really happy that got finished. I wasn't even aware that it was going to happen at all, even though Alex mentioned it might be a BRB thing. So I think it would have been really cool as a BRB thing as well. So Alex, in the future, you should let me know about some of those, and then I'll just keep bugging you to make them for BRB. Then we'll have more BRB stuff. Blue Shift by Sea. This one's a very interesting secret in terms of how it worked. So for those unaware, the secret in Blue Shift is the Apple SS route. There are 2 apples in the level. There's 1 apple just to the left of the start, and when you hit it, it changes how the level works. It actually makes the level loop, and it carries over the dust and the prisms that are left over from previous times that you played the level, played through the level. And the second apple shows up at the end of the 3rd loop. So I'm really happy C was able to make that work out. And the way that it worked out, not using teleport triggers, which was a bit of a requirement, that was a little arbitrary, me requesting that, but C made it work really well. So definitely a technically impressive way to handle that. Cyber Complex 5, that's got a lot of little scripts in it, handles a lot of transitions uniquely between all the levels. That's a bit of a surprise to see all of the individual maps put together the way that they are with some of the transitions we have. It uses new dust mod features. We required a dust mod update, thanks to C for helping with the new dust mod features that I requested as we were making it. I was like, hey, can you hide sublayers? That'd be great. And we got it. So CC5's got a lot of little stuff like that. There's also a new access to particles and emitters in the API, thanks to some of the stuff that's in CC5, and C for putting that in, of course. Derelict, very impressive. Has a really cool secret, very detailed. Not many people have played it, to the point where it's almost a little bit of a spoiler to talk about it, but you guys really need to go check out the secrets in both of these C maps from Derelict and Sandstone. Derelict, it's got a cool second player of sorts. It's just a very detailed, classic kind of C secret, just like Sandstone, which both of these maps are very polished maps by C. They have a lot of scripts. They build on each other. All those classic kind of C polished scripts with entity outliner, sources. Sandstone has the physics objects. So there's the journey inspiration for Sandstone as well. So lots of cool stuff. A lot of unique things being done there. Very new to Dust4 as well. Tasking Returns, the advancement, I guess, of Trash King's first task by Big Diesel. So very unique that Big Diesel was able to pull this off in a map jam, no less. Being able to control another character, basically stopping time for the player on the side of the level, the one that you're controlling, or the top of the level, tasking returns, and making sure that everything still works appropriately. So very cool scripts there by Big Diesel. Chaos Lab by Uckies, tons of stuff in that. Lots of little scripts. There's really so much different stuff in the Chaos maps. Kind of hard to list them all. A lot of scripts that are basically plugins are included in the Chaos maps. You've basically you've got so much different stuff with all of the little things that affect the player, things that happen in the game. It just all adds up. And then Urban Undergrowth. The secret in Urban Undergrowth is fairly unique. The script that handles all of the porcupines that actually do exist in the map, but you don't really think about it because you don't see them, and they don't actually shoot you until you try to do a low percent, which try it out. That's my best advice for that. I guess I could all these levels are linked. So for all of these finalists that I'm describing, you can go to the Dust Force Discord, go to the announcements. You can check out the link for every map in the announcements channel if you want to see these. So every single one of these categories has been shouted out. Some of you guys have even voted by the numbers on your favorite maps for each category. But yeah, go check out the announcements channel if you want to click on any of these maps yourself. I highly recommend all of the ones that we list. So when thinking about best technical achievement, we're talking primarily about the quality of the scripting in the level, and some of these stand out more than others. And we had a pretty clear top two. We had a pretty clear ordering for the levels in terms of that for this new best technical achievement category, which I think is a good way to handle like scripts as a category. It's a fun side category. So number 2, shout outs to Derelict by C.
Yeah. As Zonda mentioned earlier, just check out Derelict, check out the map, check out the secret. We'll show off Derelict potential. We'll show off Derelict potentially later. We're not gonna show off the secret though.
We're gonna show off all the other stuff.
Yeah, it is very good map. Check out the secret. It's super cool. Maybe you can be the first person to get the Apple SS. You know, might be a fun thing. You could do that. You
It's
know,
a little long, but you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I'm sure Skyhawk will have to consider it.
Yep.
As every other map. Yeah, it's got the super cool secret.
It is super. As it is exactly that type. The super cool map.
Yeah. But it's not just impressive for its secret. It's impressive for many other reasons. It's just got those C scripts that add polish in all the little ways. Some of these scripts have been built on by C over the years, like the entity outliner, like the light that you see in this thumbnail image has its own entity outliner sort. That's something that you see in all the polished C maps. It has prisms on a different sublayer. It's got checkpoints that are handled with the apples based on whether you have the apple there or not. The checkpoints also are dynamic in terms of how they're placed and the spikes around them. So you can place checkpoints even on spikes and the checkpoint will remove the spikes when you spawn there. There are tons of little improvements to levels that C has put in maps for quite a while now, and they really all come together in Derelict. So definitely an impressive level. Definitely a technical achievement. Good representation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of C maps.
And the best technical achievement award for this year goes to 100-meter freestyle by Alex Speedy.
No surprise here. This one did kind of come out of nowhere, but was a clear favorite from the get-go.
Yep. Let me go change scenes. So, this is a world record. This is the current world record. Let me go turn sound effects back on. Oops. So this is in Dustforce, an entirely 3D engine, and well, you're swimming. Basically, the controls require different sorts of jumping or dashing and pressing left and right. There's an air mechanic. There's a lot. I will show off some other stuff about this map after the replay, but this is just kind of show you what it's like to go fast on the map.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to the design of the level.
Especially, yeah, and stuff that's not actually fully visible to the surface either. So, yeah, very impressive map, extremely technically impressive. Great work.
Maybe not showing the most technically impressive stuff, because you're facing down so much of it.
Yeah.
But very cool nonetheless.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just the way you play these maps.
You ignore
it's GoldenEye all over again.
We can never escape our N64 roots. And that's the end of the stage right there. So let me go real quickly show off some stuff in Editor. So there is a script here. There is a debug mode whenever you play it, and there also is free cam. So, well, let me go back into the stage and play it. So for free cam, you are able to look around and stuff. like this. You're able to look around. It is 3D rendered. You get to see a lot of cool stuff like this. There is the position and the power and your heart rate. Let me go turn off free cam and then play it normally. So for example, right here, there's, well, it shows you your speed. If you can kick, and it increases your heart rate. If you're all the way down, your heart rate increases faster. If your heart rate gets too high or your action gets too low, you actually, well, die. You pass out. There's sound effects for that. And, well, you drown. And then you get some effects to start. Very, very dark, but very impressive nonetheless. This is a really cool map. I'm not sure if there's anything else you'd want me to show off too from this map.
I think that's good.
Alright.
Go check it out yourself.
Play this map. It is a very cool map. The controls are listed in the Atlas description. I think it is a pretty cool map, and well, yeah, just admire it. It's awesome what you can do in this game with scripting.
Yep.
So let me go swap back to the forum, and let me go. We get back to the Dust Force music.
You should
Yeah.
just exit whenever you.
Yeah, I did. I exited
whenever you
it.
switch.
I exited it right after too.
Oh.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to switch the sound effects and all that stuff too. That much.
Fair. So the next category, side category, is best meme map. So there were 6 maps.
Yeah, lots of memes this year for some reason. I don't know why people make memes, but they do. So we might as well judge people based on their meme abilities. Why else would we make meme maps after all, if not for the award?
Yep. We have to take everything extremely seriously. Everything must be extremely serious. So, the maps, Alligator Ceilings by Temp. Alligator Ceilings is made for CMJ6, and, well, it showcases off a technique of basically going through these ceilings that are rotated 90 degrees, and you're able to go through that with spikes on it. Not really sure a better way to describe it.
I don't think that's exactly the.
I don't know how to describe it. Just play it. You can.
So, Alligator Ceilings. This is a clip that we've been aware of. That's incredibly rare. We've been aware of it for quite a while, but no one's really done anything about it. And the thing with the map is it turns it into a joke that is very effective. And on top of that, it has a lot of style. I highly recommend that for each of these maps, you guys try them out yourselves and just enjoy them. Alligator Ceilings is the only one that probably requires a little explanation in terms of how it works. If you want to try it yourself, it might not be that easy, so you should probably just watch a replay to get the real experience. If you want to play it yourself, in order to get the clip, the spoiler is that you have to have stored hit prize and not be moving too fast, and it's still not gonna just work. So, good luck.
Fun map to play.
But it is a very funny map.
Yep.
Very effective at making fun of that idea as well.
The next one is Naglaria's Bad Decisions, which, I mean, I'm not sure how much I could really mention the map without, like, really spoiling it, but it was about a topical event that took place in 2023. I'm not sure how much I should really
Some
mention.
of these maps you just gotta know the in jokes.
Yep.
And if you don't know some stuff about it, then go check out the map yourself. Go check it out on Atlas. Maybe ask around a little. Be like, why is this funny?
Yep.
Because there are certainly some of those on the list that we in the community know.
It's Bashi Tire. It's Bashi Tire. It's the third one, and, well, I don't really want to spoil the gimmick of it, but it is another fun map. Check it out as well. Another pretty silly map.
That was made for BRB 3 by Spiraler. Very fun experience. BRB is known for having maps that are, fun in quotes is a good way to put it. Where they're fun to watch. They're not as fun to play, but they're very fun to watch people. So when you're looking for maps to hand to your favorite streamer and be like, play this FW. These are the kind of maps that you want to give.
There is someone in call here who did actually have to play Bashi Tire for BRB. So if they'd be interested in sharing their experience on it, there's a good time for them.
Bashi Tire is a quality map paired with an awesome song that really just accentuates the quality tire maps that we see on Atlas as memes. I really can't say more without spoiling it, but I highly recommend checking it out.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't even think that ironically.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually just a quality map. That map is great. I hope
Weird.
somebody SS's it.
There is some action going for it. There are currently 2 SBs, Might be...
Yeah, people have been working on it for sure.
Since we mentioned it here, there might be an increase into going for it. Might be fun. Might be a cool thing to see.
Yeah, I got a great laugh out of that map when we were doing it for the BRB.
Yeah, how did it feel when, so all that you knew going into the map was this is the tire map. I titled all of the themes for each round of BRB. This is the tire map. What'd you think going in?
So when
Not seeing
you
it.
hear a description as vague as this is the tire map, you know it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a regular tire map, which would be boring, or it's going to be something that's like completely off the wall. And I was more in line with expecting something completely off the wall, but that's definitely not what I was expecting. It was definitely a surprise, but it was a very fun addition to the event. Even though I was not the one that was able to walk away with a win from that round.
Well, we're looking forward to more tire maps, as always.
I love tires.
There's always got to be a tire map in a BRB.
Yep.
Exactly.
And the next map is Scooby-Doo by Miles, made for CMJ6 Avant-Garde. Again, not much to really be said. Play it. Good quality map. Don't want to spoil its gimmick though. Another good map. The 5th one.
Yeah, that one's a little bit longer, or that one's an older kind of meme, I guess. Hopefully people still know what Scooby-Doo is.
These gosh darn Zoomers and them not knowing what Scooby-Doo is. I can't believe it. The 5th map is Supremely Difficult 2 by JVC. How much should we get into the lore for this right now, Zonda?
Well, that's part of the point of the meme here. So, Supremely Difficult, one of Arb's first maps. Was it actually your first map, Arb? Very difficult map, titled correctly.
It
By
was
Arb's
this
Very Asian in chat.
It was his first map.
Yeah. So, Arb's first map, we've been long awaiting the sequel from Arb, but Arb has not been super interested in making a sequel for some reason, because it lacked a few qualities of quality that you might come to expect from maps these days, being someone on Atlas's first map ever. Arb inspired by levels like Yada. Very good camera, in particular, would definitely be what I would describe. Both of the Supremely Difficults.
A funny thing I also want to mention is Supremely Difficult 1 is almost a decade old now too, so if that could help give an idea of what it's like.
So JVC for a long time had been bringing this up to Arb. When's this gonna be? Fine, I'll just do it myself. JVC breaks out the map making tools. Despite the earlier claim that JVC would put in effort to a map, but we see exactly how much effort JVC is willing to put into a map with Supremely Difficult 2, which, unlike its Bashi Tire, does have an SS by Uckies, but Uckies has only SS'd one of the 7 versions on Atlas of Supremely Difficult 2.
I think
There
it
are
was
6 hidden versions, and some might not be possible.
I think 5 of them were not possible because JVC forgot to delete the dust on. Okay, so one of the things that JVC did was he took the map of Supremely Difficult 1 and, put it in Supremely Difficult 2 far off. He removed the prisms, but he also forgot to remove the dust. And he just kind of took that and stole the decorations to Supremely Difficult 1 and just immediately put it on Supremely Difficult 2. Skyox is only one possible copy. Okay.
Alright.
So, yeah. And
Add
then,
it to the list.
yep. And then Yeah, a good quality map. I definitely recommend taking a look at Supremely Difficult 1 before looking at 2 to get an idea of what 2 is like if you want the true experience. The final map for Best Meme was Wonder of Blue by Not Jake for V-Slings 4. Wonder of Blue, as mentioned earlier, was the map with the Down with the 1% song included into it. A lot of hard work, a lot of effort. Really good song, really good meme, really good to show off what it was kind of like to shitpost back during DLC 4.
Yeah, the most normal map of the bunch.
Yeah. And let's move on to the winners. So the number 2 best meme map of the year was Scooby-Doo by Miles. Very highly rated. A lot of people really like Scooby-Doo. I am a part of that group of people who really like Scooby-Doo. Really fun. Another fun map. I definitely recommend checking it out. Not too hard either to do, so you don't have to worry too much about difficulty. Just make sure you play with sound effects and music. Well, mainly just music.
Yep. Yeah, check it out. Simple map.
Yep. And the number 1 best meme map of the year is Alligator Ceilings by Temp. So, funny thing about this song, we're going to play the custom music for it. It is a little...
Yeah, hopefully we don't get DMCA struck, so we'll make it kind of quick.
It is the same 3-second loop repeating over and over. So this is Alligator Ceilings right here. Wait, no. I gotta swap. Oops. Here. No, it's in transition, no.
Yeah, you guys gotta play it for the full experience, but we'll show you what it really looks like. Right? Yeah, reset that.
It's fine. Here, yeah. There you go, I'm resetting it. So the fake ending right here. But then it immediately starts playing again.
Yeah, you thought you only had to do the clip once, you gotta do it again.
Yowza. The Red Eyes 2 is really funny. Let me go... The Red Eyes happen because of a script that toggles one specific part, which are the alligator which what happened the alligator's eye sublayers were on. Another really good high quality map.
Yeah, that's kind of polished that we really are looking for when it comes to memes. Really doubling down on it. Temp taking it to a new level with a happy accident.
Yep. And come on, guys, you gotta make good memes too. You can't let Yacht Apple Difficult be the best meme map of the year. Come on. You gotta make good memes this year.
2024's got some contenders already.
Yep.
And plenty of
We're starting this year out strong. You guys better follow it up.
Yep. But that's a 2024 map. We'll talk about it next year if it gets nominated. But you know what we are going to talk about next? The main categories. These right here are the categories that are actually worth money, and well, we'll be showing off a bit more of those too as well. So there was
one special mention before we get into the main categories. There was one category that we were originally planning to do that we did not do. That wasn't Ramen Map. We were originally planning to do Best Nexus or Best Map Pack, Best Multi-Map Project, you know, all in one encompassing. But there really weren't any contenders for that this year. There weren't many multi-map projects. But I am just gonna shout out 3 of them that happened. One of which I already mentioned already was the Ramen Nexus. Was a 5-person project. And they have their Nexus in the map pack gallery, or not the map pack gallery, the Nexus gallery. So go check that out. The Nexus for Ramen Nexus is what it's called. So that's by Idle, Not Jake, Miles, Cow, and Temp.
Mm-hmm.
We have another one was the ESA Nexus made up of multiple Nexuses. There was a Nexus made for each player in ESA. The individual maps of ESA that were played didn't exactly come from 2023. It was basically a best of compilation. You know, just a select set of maps that were really cool to show off at ESA. Just a lot of cool maps from the history of Dust Force that those players had never played before. The Nexuses themselves are great. I believe you can find this one in the event gallery in the bottom left area. where the map competitions are. I'm hoping that one day, side note, that we'll be able to renovate the community nexus and make the nexuses a little easier to find. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. I'm looking for people to help Matt make a nexus. We definitely want to renovate our nexus, put more nexuses in there, because I have a feeling there might be some more custom nexuses on the way in 2024 for some reason. You know, no particular reason, but I feel like you guys should make some nexuses.
They're pretty cool.
And the third shout out for multi-map projects would be the Cyber Complex 5 DLC 5 Nexus that puts together all the CC5 maps, which was made as a multi-map project. So by some definitions, you can say it fits that kind of rule set. But I very much intend to do the Nexus category for Best of 2024. So you guys better make some Nexuses.
Now,
Right here if you are in the works.
now would be a very good time to start working on them, you know? Fun projects. Might be able to get either do it yourself or get some other people, you know? Just ever in the mood to make a lot of maps? Might be fun.
It doesn't have to be super long term either. You know, you
Yeah.
could just release it in February. But for anyone that does want to release a Nexus, reach out to somebody like me or Skyhawk, and we'll arrange a special release date for you. Put it in the Nexus, you know, the community Nexus. Give a spot for you. Try to get a little event going to have people enjoy your maps together. So that kind of stuff's always fun, and I'm looking forward to what we do about that this year. So definitely make some Nexuses, and we'll make some events happen. But going into the main categories that we did do, we have a few main categories. There was most innovative, best gameplay, and best aesthetics, and then finally best overall, the super main category, the premier category perhaps.
Yep.
The major main category. I don't know if there's another way to put it, but either way, these are the main categories. So for each of these, again, we're gonna continue kind of like we did previously. For the following categories, other than innovative, we did have criteria that I'll describe that was used for scoring by the judges. Innovative isn't quite the kind of map that had easily scoreable criteria for a category. So in terms of how we value most innovative, we're looking at maps in a few different ways. In general, let me get these notes up because they actually moved a little bit. Oh, they're there. All right, so in general, you can summarize this with this kind of criteria for, you know, we're trying to define qualities that contribute to most innovative, the category. So the idea, the uniqueness, obviously is considered. The playability, how fun it is, how well the map realizes its potential of the idea, how well the map works with Dustforce is also pretty important. So in terms of most innovative, the maps that are valued highly are the ones that combine things that are, you know, Dustforce with things that you wouldn't really expect from Dustforce. You know, they're basically maps that contribute to advancing the state of Dustforce maps in a way, or simply put, cool stuff with scripts would be a little bit of an oversimplification. We're just trying to celebrate some ideas, how much they stand out for uniqueness, how much they build upon Dustforce, and all of these maps, they do a little bit of that. So, talking about each of these maps, I noticed one is missing on the list. So we'll talk about the one that's missing first for some reason. which is 5 by JDude. I don't know why that one's not there, but
Wait.
5, the map by JDude, was a nomination for most innovative. So 5 is a maze map that's you can question marks. You can see proof of it in the announcements channel where I said it was the most innovative nomination.
Like, okay, I'm just not my fault again. Any mistake, not me. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, definitely not Idle's fault.
Yeah, I'm just the streamer.
But no big deal.
That's
Moving on. You know, cool maze map by apparently by JDude and Skyhawk. Thanks for the script, Skyhawk. Thanks for the credit, Skyhawk. But yeah, huge shout out to JDude for making a map that got nominated but didn't make the list of most innovative somehow. Only JDude could have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool map. You can check all of these nominations out in the announcements channel. They're all listed there, all linked there. For a lot of these, there's not really anything special to spoil about them, I think.
I think
So-
we've already talked about most of these already, so yeah.
Yeah, five's a new one to the list, at least. But
Yeah.
you know, 100 meter freestyle again, very noteworthy for technical advancements, to say the least, in Dustforce. Very unique. Certainly innovative in terms of it being different than Dustforce. But being different from Dustforce doesn't necessarily mean innovative by the qualities that I listed as well. So some judges, you know, we talk about this kind of thing, and this is just something we gotta think about, like how are we valuing these innovative categories? Blue Shift similarly, you know, how are we valuing the secret in Blue Shift? How innovative is that kind of stuff really? You know, could that is that just technically impressive perhaps? But Blue Shift, very noteworthy for its secret, the way that it handles moving the entire level as you advance in the level for its Apple SS. Very cool. Pretty innovative as well in how it handled the scripts in the editor. That was nicely easy to use because I helped put down those spikes. The spikes that there are more spikes that are added to the level as you progress, each iteration of it, and it also keeps going. So it doesn't just end at 3, even though that's when the apple shows up.
You can go as far as I think.
Both rhythm forces are included on this list as well. So rhythm force shoot 'em up 1 and 2, both by Uckies. Most innovative in terms of, you know, incorporating that mini game style gameplay, using music, got cool aesthetics, you know, cool map overall. We have a lot to look forward to in all these maps, of course. Sandstone has those physics objects as described before. Got a lot of C scripts in there for all these cool little things. I got physics, we got custom collisions and all that. It's great to see a lot of that stuff put to use. Go check out the secrets in Sandstone when you get the chance. That one's a lot more accessible than Dairy League. Task King, both of the maps by Big Diesel. You controlling another player via Trash King, now christened Task King, and now you know, has improved the tech in Task King Returns. So very cool implementation, how the player handles all that stuff. Shouts to Big Diesel for improving on the script after the map jam. Always love to see that kind of stuff happen. Any other comments on most innovative? This is a bit innovation is a bit of a weird thing to talk about.
Yeah,
but I really like to celebrate it.
I think you commented on our points. I guess the only other thing I want to mention is second and third place. It was really hard to determine which was which. Really close. It was really close.
This one was close for the top three.
Yeah.
3 of them.
So
Yeah, some of these categories closer than others. Innovative was one of those close ones.
yeah. So without further ado, the number 2 most innovative map of the year was the Rhythm Force Shoot 'em Up series by Yuckies. Both of these. They do have a lot of potential with potentially music sync in maps. More music sync in maps for that too. Yeah. Both are really good maps to check out. One's a lot easier to get the grasp of. 2 has a lot more gimmicks in it with also using heavy prisms. Really fun maps to check out in my opinion. Really cool.
Yeah. In terms of things that are carried over in these levels, there's a lot more stuff represented in Rhythm Force Shoot 'em Up 2 rather than the original. But the original is more accessible in terms of being a bit easier to play. You know, you got to get used to 1 before you can move up to 2. Definitely check out the maps, give them a try. If you like rhythm games, maybe you can give this a shot.
We recently got the All-Star on Rhythm Force Shoot 'em Up 2, so if you guys want to go for more SSs, we could get the double or triple All-Star, you know? Might be a fun project. All characters act the same.
You could do it on both maps.
True. And to move on, the most innovative map of the year was the Task King series, both Trash King's First Task and Task King Returns by Big Diesel. Both very cool maps, as Zonda mentioned earlier. Congrats, Big Diesel.
Yeah,
and congrats,
the way that
Yuckies.
this combines Dust Force and innovation on top of Dust Force, you know, incorporating both aspects really resonated with a lot of people. This really stood out in terms of, you know, from the map jam to continuing its development. Huge shouts to Big Diesel for how this one turned out. Everyone was really blown away when we saw this one at the map jam.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to do it again for BRB was even better.
So, well, yeah. We aren't going to show off both of them. We're going to show off Task King Returns because it is the shorter map and also it's the shorter map and it has the more updated script. So let me go transition scenes, and here is the replay by me that I got this run. So basically, every single time you jump, you advance the frames, and you're able to, control Dustman to clear all that. Once you've hit all the end triggers attached to the prisms, so once you're able to hit the prisms, it's you're done, and you finish it.
Did you set this recently while judging?
I think so. I think I got this a bit after while judging. Both maps are actually really fun maps to check out, in my opinion. I think you should go play both of them, honestly. Both really cool. Since this one uses jump to advance frames, you can also use the minimum jump leaderboard as a way to also, do a task leaderboard for the minimum frames. My run is not the minimum frames, but it is the fastest run time-wise. I will check after this what the minimum time frames.
This one's a masher.
Yep.
When you're hitting jump this many times.
Yep. 3.53 actions per second according to Dust Kid. And no temp. No one's tasked this one, but people tasked the original. Arb tasked the original.
Did Arb not test this one?
He only did the original, I thought. I can double check, maybe. Yeah. I can show off the original test if that's fine.
I think if we get the link to Arb's task, that would be good to show off real quick.
Oh.
There is one minor issue with replays where for some reason they don't save the final jump. They come out in the last frame.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to quit out of this one.
So here's Arb's replay. Oh, Arb did actually do it. Okay.
Alright.
Can you get the other one too? The original task, Trash King's First Task. So yeah, that is a time of 14 seconds and 121 frames.
We're gonna need a third version of this where you can see the ending.
Yep. Let me go find the task of the other one real quickly. Of tasking. I mean, Trash King's first task. Let me go find that real quickly. Oh, never mind. Big Diesel just sent it. Thank you, Big Diesel.
Right.
Here's the original map. Here's ARP's task of this too.
So for this one, you have to light the clock in the middle to advance the frame. So lots of light spamming over here.
Yep.
The first map, a bit more of a puzzle, more difficult, I guess, in that respect, for just having a lot more dust.
So that was well, a lot faster, and that was a 220 frames, so 3.666 seconds. 3. Trash King really is proving that he is the tasking after all. Great work.
Yeah, what will tasking do next?
We'll see. Only Big Diesel knows, I feel like. So yeah, great work again to everyone for the awards. Great work, great work. So,
all right. So next category. I'm gonna describe how this kind of stuff was judged. So, for one, if you were a map maker for any of these included maps, if you're related to them in any way, you are not allowed to judge. We have the list of judges that show up later in the slides. So none of these players, like Big Diesel, are voting for their own map. Don't worry. No bias. No CC5 map maker judges.
yep.
But in terms of how the category worked, I'll just describe a bit about how we judge them. So for gameplay, first impression is one of the, I mean, it's obviously one of the first things you think about. But what are you really thinking about the first time you play the level? How easy is it to understand? Can you sight read the level? How does the level really make you go wow? Are you impressed how cool the level is? So first impression just kind of encompasses a bit more of the general feel of experiencing the level. Maybe the level is particularly unique in terms of its gameplay. So it's a bit more fluid in that sense for people's first impression. Some people might really like the beginning of levels as well. It's really great to focus on the beginning of your level, not make it too boring or too hard, because a lot of people are likely to quit out or complain about levels when they have to have issues there. So when levels really strike you immediately, make you want to keep playing them because of that first impression, that's when you know you've got a good level on your hands. And that leads into the second criteria, which is replayability, which really encompasses how long someone is willing to play the, is there reason to keep playing it, perhaps even after assessing it? If it's a long level, is it engaging enough where you're willing to put in the work and assess it and even still keep going? How fun is it to grind? How fun is it to continue grinding? In fact, you'll notice that all of these nominations on this list, these are actually all from DLC. Which possible coincidence, you might think. But in terms of DLC levels, we really did work pretty hard at making these kinds of levels engaging and high quality. So DLC very much representing a lot of the high quality levels, especially in gameplay. That's where we want it to stand out. These are the levels people are playing the most, and for a good reason. These are the popular events. So replayability, how much do you really want to replay the level? It stands out when you have a DLC level that you're willing to play for an extended period of time, because you kind of have to do that in DLC. Some people get a little tired of maps, but it's nice when you're not getting tired of those levels in that kind of environment. Another criteria, low. Very very classic kind of fundamental game design topic. Very interesting to get into on a deeper level. It matters a lot for Dustforce, of course. Dustforce is all about the flow. How fun is it to play? Does it have issues in the level that break the flow? Would be something that stands out negative. How's the pacing of the level? Does it have different like segments of the level? I'm not talking about like CC5 segments. I'm talking about like, is it clean to move from this little area to this little area? You know, are there rooms and all that stuff? How's the pacing between all that stuff? Is it too much all at once? Is it like just the right mix? Is it too repetitive? All that kind of stuff all fits into the flow category. Very open-ended kind of feel. That's what you get when you're trying to judge something as ambiguous as gameplay. Finally, we have how well the game serves its niche. So is the map good at what it's trying to do? In this case, we do happen to be judging DLC maps. This is a little bit weirder, perhaps, because the maps are arguably a little more similar than when we're comparing like a really hard map compared to like a really easy map. You know, if it's a boost map, is it a good boost map? If it's a routing map, is it a good routing map? Well, there's some CC5 representation here, including CC5 itself. And well, they have a distinct kind of style to them, but they're all independently their own segments. So what we have is regarding CC5 as well. I'm just gonna say that CC5 was judged independently as its own map when it comes to any of the categories that it was in. You know, it is kind of like the elephant of the room, where it includes some of these other maps. So I left it up to the judges. Do you want to include CC5 in this category? And it was always up to the non-CC5 map maker judges. If you want to include this in the category or not. Do you think it is too similar or too different to warrant including, perhaps? So for the categories where it is listed, you know, it is judged as its own map. But yeah, we can talk about the maps themselves. How many judges do we have in the call right now? We got a few of them.
Yeah.
Unmuted.
Avenged, Issa, myself.
Yeah. I was not a judge because I have a map on this list. I technically contributed to all of these maps, so I guess I understand gameplay a little bit because I was just talking about it. Good representation for me in this category. But the final map on the list is definitely the one I had the least input on in terms of the original gameplay. You know, it is a DLC map, so I had some say in it in terms of like, let's change this here and there. I even remember the hour before it gets released, hold on, let's change this in the camera, and me just kind of being like, Camel, please don't break the level. So it was a little bit stressful of a final hour leading up to the actual Urban Undergrowth that not many people know about, but pretty funny to look back on. Definitely went over well. Those last minute changes actually for the better. We did improve the camera, believe it or not. And it went over pretty well. A lot of people liked Urban Undergrowth. It was it and Blue Shift were the two favorite standouts of DLC 4. Blue Shift just barely not making the gameplay nomination. You know, we could go on forever if we listed all the maps that just barely don't make it, though.
Yeah.
All the other maps, though, are actually CC5 sections. You want to talk about any specific ones? And I'll just kind of add color commentary at the point.
So I guess the first thing I want to mention is CC5, which is the elephants in the room. At least for me personally, I feel like even though it was a combination of 14 maps, I feel like it had enough stuff on its own that changed to make it so for gameplay. Like they fixed some issues like on the original map of Nazara. It fixed it added more. I mean, it added spikes to a lot of the week 1 maps, I think, and it also has all the transitions between stages. For me, that personally makes it enough, at least in my opinion, for it to be judged as its own merit. And CC5 is a really fun map. It is personally my favorite of the cyber complexes. Everything else, all of them just feel like it has a really good flow. It all feels super satisfying to pull off. And there is a lot of, and one of my favorite things about the map is there is a lot of ways you can back up mistakes if you do make a mistake. So, for example, in my PB, I made a mistake in Trash Ton Tunnels, which lost me a lot of time, but I was able to back it up pretty easily and save it, where it feels like in a lot of maps, if I made that mistake, it probably would have just been the end of the run and a reset 3 minutes in. Cyber Complex 5 does have a lot of spots you can back it up, and that personally makes it really nice for repeated grinding sessions.
What about those segments?
What do you mean
about all those segments you got listed?
Oh, wait. The segments? Yeah, I'm gonna get to those too.
Oh yeah, we got the nominations.
Yeah, I was gonna get to those too. I just want to quickly get CC5 out of the way. So for me, I like all of these. These are all really fun maps. It's a bit hard to it was really hard to rank them personally on which ones I liked the more, because I really liked all of them and they all have really good flow and gameplay. Like for example, Chronostatic Arbor, I really like how it feels to play. I love the ADB section. I love all the routing options you can do. All the routing feels like it flows very well together, and I like that. Illalead, I really just love the slant boost. I love how fun it feels, how fast you can go. I really like Illalead. It's a bit hard to put that into words, but it's another very fun map. Nazara,
Ippon put a lot of effort into focusing entirely on the slants. The level is all about those slant boosts and the slant ceilings. There's a pretty big focus when it comes to how spikes are placed and how the slants are placed. So it has a very unique feel to it.
Yeah, and it just feels super satisfying, in my opinion, to just constantly be able to pull that off too. Nazara Synthesis, I really liked it. I loved how it felt once I was able to learn it. It was a very satisfying map, a very high skill ceiling too for what you're able to pull off with the map because of all the different strats. There's surprisingly a lot of different strats you can do, like the vertical section by the ending and then the open room by the ending. There's a lot of different strats you can do there, and basically all of them.
Yeah, that one stands out in DLC. We kind of upped the ante for difficulty there as well. Really showing, like we showed with week 1, Chronostatic Arbor is the kind of quality you want to expect, but Nazara is, that now we got difficulty too.
Yep. And I am definitely a big fan of I'm a big fan of grinding difficult maps and optimizing them. I think it was really fun. Prism Tower, I think Prism Tower is a really fun segment just because you can go so fast, there's so much you can do, very high APS, and it just feels so satisfying to pull it off. Again, like the ADB at the start is really fun. All the running on the ceilings up top near the middle is fun, and then the ending into the ending section where it's just going on the slants and then climbing up and then hitting the prisms. It just feels super satisfying. It all feels really well played together. And the one thing I really liked was the constant pattern of, for all prism attacks, it was 3 light and then 1 heavy prism. 3 light, 1 heavy, 3 light, 1 heavy, across all parts of the map. And that also includes Tower as well. I forgot to mention Tower, but Tower is a climbing level, and since I played CC5 as man, Tower was actually really fun as man. It is one of my favorite climbing maps that I've played, personally. It is a really fun, it feels very satisfying to pull off, and it also is it is not too hard to do on its own. A bit hard. It is a bit harder with nerves, but it's the right amount of difficulty where, it's nice not having the hardest part of the map right at the very end. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, Illalead and Prism Tower back to back, making up a solid ending to CC5.
I agree. And then the final map on this list that I haven't mentioned yet, actually, I never mentioned Urban Underground. Trash Ton Tunnels, I'll do that too. Trash Ton Tunnels, I really liked it as well. It was another very fun, satisfying boost map. There was a lot of left boosting in it, but it felt still really satisfying to pull it all. There was you didn't really have to deal with too much left friction, which felt nice too as well. Very fun map. I liked it. Just a good quality boost map. I think it's good. And then finally, Urban Undergrowth. Urban Undergrowth was, I really like it. I liked how it was a map that just on the surface looks like it'd be a Worth map, but in actuality, man is just so much faster. I only grinded the Worth during DLC 4. I did man. I did a bit of man playing, and I can also say that man also feels super satisfying to play. I do like the pillars and the boost sections. It is a very nice, and I feel like where you have to go is pretty well indicated, in my opinion. And those are my opinions on that. How about, do you have anything Avenged, Teresa, that you want to add?
Yeah,
for
I was going to say, going into the CC5 sections, really, a lot of these felt like pretty similar to me in the way that I like them, in that they're all just maps that are like really fun to play on your first time through. They all have just like a very consistent and readable flow to them, specifically Chronostatic Arbor, Nara Synthesis, and Rhythm Tower, and Trash Ton Tunnels, I would say. The thing I find interesting once you get into the Epon and Zonda maps is those maps have the quality of feeling a lot better once you kind of have your strats in mind, so kind of a different feeling. But really, to me, Chronostatic Arbor, Zara Synthesis, and Trash Ton Tunnels are all just like absurdly fun maps. Just if you just want something to do with your hands, like those are just the types of maps that I load up. Just very fun first playthrough, very fun flow. And I mean, really, that's what I tend to like in Cyber Complex maps, is just when you have those sections that are just super fun to play.
Yeah, I was about to say, and the strength of the compilation maps is something that you don't really see in Dustforce that much, where you can just keep playing. You don't have to stop after 30 seconds. Dustforce really excels as a game when you're able to play for an extended period of time like that, as long as it's not too intensive. So, you know, there's effort put into the pacing of each of these, and we are benefited by being able to separate them all in the now very clear Cyber Complex style of supers, having supers between each of the maps. You know, pacing matters. But being able to play them all in a row, really satisfying.
I agree. So with that, I don't think there's any more thoughts that we want to add. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Nothing for me.
No.
All right. In that case, let's move on to the winners. So second place for best gameplay this year was Chronostatic Arbor Redux by Arb. As mentioned, really fun. Set a really good tone for CC5 and DLC 5. It is. I think it's still one of my favorite maps, and I had such a blast grinding it, especially during DLC 5, getting the red key. Really fun time.
Yeah, it's a testament to how strong Chronostatic Arbor is. That the first section of CC5 of such a long map that people are gonna have to play over and over, that it's this good. You know, we worked a long time on it, so we'll happily say that we're happy with it as a finalist, at least.
And
Chronostatic Arbor also notably the re-upload of the CC5 version of the original map, featuring a few little changes, like you can see the spikes in the thumbnail right there. It's also got the CC Super in the middle.
Yeah. We decided that for CC5 maps with the re-upload, we'd just take the re-uploaded version, because that usually had more benefits, or like more quality life features, usually for a lot of them.
In addition, that was the map as originally intended. Like Prism Tower, Omega Coggers, those kind of levels. Those are all the original maps, and we just split them up after the fact, and we're like, well, it's a DLC map now. You know, CC5 first, DLC second, technically.
Yeah. And the number one winner for best gameplay of the year was Cyber Complex 5 by a lot of people. Alex, Arb, Diesel, Epon, Simon, Temp, Uckies, Camel, and Zonda. Again, I mentioned it. CC5 is my favorite of the Cyber Complexes personally. really fun to grind. Definitely a map I actually still do want to go back to and get a better time on, personally. Really fun map, really enjoyable. And for people, I'd say for people who do want to get into CC, the Cyber Complex series, 5 is definitely one of the best starting points, if not the best. Really good map.
Yeah, it was made from the start. It's supposed to be the shortest and easiest one. It ended up being a little closer to the next shortest one than we originally expected, sitting at just barely over 6 minutes. So it was an experience. It was a long project. Shoutouts to all of the map makers. They all did their work on the level. Very effective. The kind of benefits that you see in the compilation map really are exemplified when you put it all together. Yeah, it would be crazy if someone was starting on CC6 already.
Yeah. Who would ever?
Wouldn't it?
Who would ever do that? So, next category is best aesthetics. So, do you want to introduce what the category is and what we get to judge on, Zonda?
Yeah, so we had 10 nominees here. This was the one with the most nominations. Looks like we forgot to move it into 2 columns, but oh well. Can't fix it now.
It's fine.
Noticing. So for criteria for aesthetics, obviously like gameplay, it's all a bit subjective. We have to come up with some way to score it. And in talking about it, the kind of things that we value, there are 4 criteria that really stand out, ways to attempt to measure maps somewhat objectively. So first of all, and the most important one, arguably, is polish. So how detailed is the level? If it's actually supposed to be a simple map, is less actually more? So we're talking about the quality of the level, not just like quantity equals polish, because I'm sure you guys have seen before, just adding a lot of props, just adding things on top of the level doesn't necessarily mean it's a good level when it comes to visuals. Everybody's got those kinds of maps that they look at and they're just like, wow, this is crazy. And I sound exactly like that. That's my excited voice when I think something's crazy. That's me when I see a polished map. That's crazy. So 10 out of 10, huge wow. Theme is something that we also very much value. So the style of a level, the style and theme is something that is kind of hard to express in terms of how to measure it. Every map's kind of got its own style, it's got its own theme. We're trying to measure how well the map executes that theme. So we called it theme execution. We split up theme into 2 different categories, one being theme execution and the other being theme creativity. So how unique is it obviously stands out as something that would be representing the theme's uniqueness, its creativity. Does it stand out for what it does? Does it make you feel a certain way? All of these maps that are on the list, they all have their special theme, and how much they commit to that theme, how unique it is for what it is. That's really what makes it stand out. So like you might not have the most creative thing in the world, but you may not have ever seen like an overgrown area look like this. That's still something that you can value in terms of creativity. Like I haven't seen something like this before. Or you might be like, this is just incredibly well done for committing to its theme. Does everything in the level contribute to representing this theme as a whole? That's something that really transcends aesthetics. You see a lot of that in more traditional game design, kind of like bringing up the flow topic for gameplay. You really want, if you're talking about game design, all of the elements of a level or a game really are exemplified if you continue to double down on it. So the levels that really commit to doubling down on its aesthetic, really focusing on its style and its theme, it doesn't matter how creative it is, how much are you committing to it? That's something that we're trying to recognize here. And some of these levels really, they put in the utmost effort. That's why they're on this list. Also, on a similar note, something that is valued for overall, which we'll get to, is the synergy of a level between the aesthetics and the gameplay, which is related to visibility as well, more in terms of like if you can't see what's going on, then that's probably not a good thing. Sometimes aesthetics kind of interferes with gameplay, and it's obvious when it's a negative thing. But we really want to highlight it when the level has good synergy with gameplay, like good feedback going back and forth between aesthetics and gameplay. When you have effects that are special to the level based on what you're doing in gameplay, and it's very clear what's going on, very understandable, easy to read. Those are all the kind of qualities that we're looking at and trying to be like, all right, this one, I really like how when you do this, it looks like this. That kind of stuff's really cool to see. We've been seeing a lot more of that in Dustworks, especially in 2023. So I like to highlight that. Very important kind of design philosophy, to me at least. And we got 10 on the list. We have a lot more variety in these picks as well.
So the maps that were selected on the list in order are Chronostatic Arbor Redux by Arb, CC5 by all the people that made it, Derelict by C, Expedition by Dello, who made it for Team Decence 4.
Go through each one again though. Try to pause a little between each one. Gameplay, by the way, so we'll just add them at a time.
Okay. So,
but starting with the first one, Chronostatic Arbor Redux. That one's actually an interesting one. A little background on that. That one had 4 different people work on the aesthetics on it. That would be Arb, Epon, Big Diesel made the theme. Epon added the polish. Arb, put it all together and did that. And I added some of the visual style to it as well. Adjusted it. Kind of fit everything else. It was just a cool 4-man process. CC5 obviously with the 4 different aesthetics.
Yep.
And that was week 1 of them.
So, one thing I want to add for Chronostatic Arbor is I like how similar the colors are, but you're still very easily able to determine the foreground from the background in Chronostatic Arbor. I think it's really nice how, although it's similar colors, there is different textures. For example, you're able to see the texture of the blocks in the foreground, and in the background it's a lot more of a solid color, and there isn't as much decoration. It's a nice way to make it so it's easier to read it while it's all a similar color. I also just think it is a really nice design as well. And I feel like I'm going to be saying that for a lot of these. I think it's very nice. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, what you just described about the texture differences, the good contrast by that kind of stuff. That's one of those examples of good visibility in a level, like one of those little bare bones, basic kind of core concepts, really. When you break it down and you're trying to look at what the level looks like, what contributes to it at a fundamental level. Definitely one of those 4 things that you see in a lot of these maps. Good contrast.
Yeah. Cyber Complex 5, mentioned that 4 separate themes. I think for me the one thing that stuck out the most for CC5 was the transitions between all weeks. I think especially the transitions and how well you were able to transition from each week was really good. The one that highlights the most for me is week 3 to week 4 with the fall down the tube and the sound effects to then make it into week 4. That is a personal highlight for me for CC5 for aesthetics. I think it all just looks super amazing as well in general.
Yeah, audio is one of those untapped aesthetics in the Dustforce community. It really adds a lot.
Yeah. The next map is Derelict, and well, Derelict is a really long map, and has so much attention to detail across the full 4 minutes of the run. It is an absolutely amazing map, and I love how much its thought went into the decoration. The overgrown lab with a lot of goo and stuff. Very cool aesthetic. I really like it.
In terms of pure thorough attention to detail, Derelict probably wins out just because of the total amount of stuff that's in there. And not in terms of just the 5-minute level, but also all the stuff around the level and the secret. Everything in the levels is so polished.
Yeah, it's amazing. The next map is Expedition. Issa, if you're here, would you like to talk about Expedition? I know you're a big fan of that map.
I am here, but I'm not entirely sure what to say. Perhaps like I originally
It's
just
hard to put aesthetics into words.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was just curious if
like,
anything you want to say.
just the first time I opened the map, I was flashed and wowed, and thought it was like the prettiest thing. The way the water is done on the map, I think, is just excellent. And overall, like, it was like part of the same week, whatever day, with urban undergrowth, and I think the contrast to it is very interesting. How like the themes are, in principle, very similar, but still very different in execution.
That's fair. It makes a lot of sense. I do like the water too on Expedition. It is a very nice. I like the water. The particles too for hitting prisms as well is a nice touch as well. I like the bubble effects. The next map was Nazara Synthesis, and it's the main map for week 2 with the like. I'm not trying exactly to describe the thing in words, but it's blue and has an image like a repeating pattern, and I think out of the 4 Nazara, the 4-week format, Nazara is personally my favorite. I really like the simple contrast between just the design of the blocks and then just the black outlines to make designs in the background too. It is a very readable map. There isn't a lot obscuring the decoration, obscuring the gameplay. I mean, which is very awesome in a map that hard especially compared to the rest of the map. It's very nice to have an extremely readable map for its difficulty.
Nazara Synthesis is that was that week. That marked the first of for weeks 2, 3, and 4 of DLC. We did something unique that we tried to do something that was never done before in a map for the aesthetics. The texture, how that was handled. Basically, it's just a repeating image, and there have been a few cool maps that use that kind of thing out there before. The way that this handles layers on top of like where you're putting the texture, that's where it's really unique, and you look at it and you're like, how does that even work? So very interesting kind of styles to work with for each of the DLC weeks, able to do something unique for each one.
Yeah, and there's a lot of potential with that script too as well, which is cool. I think all of the week 2 maps were pretty nice looking as well.
Yeah, they all actually use the script in a different way too.
Yeah. So the next map is Prism Tower. I think Prism Tower is a really nice. I think it's not necessarily the final boss, but it's a great closing for the end of the end. I think it is a nice, basically kind of like a send off for DLC and CC. On its own, I really like the backgrounds with the. I'm not sure exactly to call it, but I really like the prop work in the background. I like the particles. I really like the again showing off the texture for the blocks, and I just think it has a really nice. I just like how also particles move in the direction that you're supposed to go. Like for example, in Prism, the first half you go, the particles move slowly to the right, and then for Tower, the particles move all the way up. It's going up. I think it is a very nice touch, and it's a very nice looking map.
Yeah, that one really brings CC5 to its more traditional virtual roots, but in its own new style, trying to do something unique with it.
Yeah, very good map. The next one is Sandstone, and I think personally Sandstone is one of the most beautiful maps this year, if not the most beautiful. I think it just looks absolutely amazing, and I really like the attention to detail with the stuff like the particles on the ground that appear when you walk. The lighting effects are super nice. The physics objects, I mean, the physics objects don't have much to do with the aesthetic, but the way they were added is a really cool touch aesthetically. I just think it has a lot of really cool aesthetics, and it does look really good. It's just a really nice map that I personally really enjoy, and yeah, really fun map.
It also cares a lot
very
about
visually
the light and
impressive
dark
map.
sections.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to the journey carpets.
True.
Yeah.
The secret, again, as we mentioned, another cool secret checkout. Just check out all of C's secrets, to be honest. They're all really good. They're like in Sandstone are awesome, and all the ones he made as well.
They're pretty involved, so get ready to do a little exploring.
Yeah.
That's what the levels are good for. Extended play.
Yep. The next map is OJ Factory by Zyke, which was for IKEA Aether in DLC 4 Week 1. And I think OJ Factory for me was my favorite use of the Week 1 fog trigger. It was really nice to see it change from a more blocky kind of mountainy design into a more enclosed factory with with a theme around orange juice, and later on turning into more of you going back to the end of the factory and seeing the servers. I think it does have quite a bit of nice touch. I think, again, it's my favorite of the week, and I think it's just a nice looking map. I just think it looks good. It looks nice. I'm not really sure what else to add. I feel like if I open the map,
it's got a lot of little details in OJ Factory. You know, you just gotta zoom in on lots of different parts and be like, oh, look at that OJ stand over there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
The levels full of that kind of stuff.
A nice map to just go look around and explore. Unfortunately, there are details that I cannot remember off the top of my head. If I did remember them, I would go in more detail about them.
Yeah, play them yourself. Go check them out. They're all linked in the announcements channel.
Yeah. The next map is 2-Year Reflection by Mr. Bean, and I think I am just a really big sucker for rainbow designs. I think the rainbow design that they use for the backgrounds is really nice, and I do like I think it is pretty nice. I like the effects on the design on the outline where it's books and orbs, basically to make it look like kind of like a bead chain, kind of. I'm not sure exactly the right word for it, but I think it's another really nice map. The rainbows, again, I'm just a big sucker for rainbow designs because that hasn't done much, and I think the background especially is just super nice and really pretty. And finally, the final map is Urban Undergrowth. Urban Undergrowth is another DLC for Week 3 design, also same week as Expedition. I really like for me, the one thing that stuck out a lot in that map is just how visible it is and how much synergy there is between aesthetics and gameplay, because there's a lot of spots where it indicates like, hey, this is kind of a good spot to boost by changing, or like this is a tile you should stand on by changing the top part of the pillars each time in order to indicate that. I think the effect at least for foreground stuff, I think I like how there is foreground stuff and that it isn't too obscuring. Like there's basically nothing that obscures your gameplay, and I think it has a lot of nice touches.
Yeah, Layer 20 covers up a lot of important parts of Layer 19 that really help it look good.
Yeah.
And something that you're not going to focus on too much.
So, are there any?
Sometimes, you know, compared to say, you know, levels that don't stand out for best aesthetics, these levels are all the ones that, you know, everybody just loves them. So it's hard to think like why exactly these ones are standing out. But then, you know, when you're looking at like the entirety of Valor, and you're trying to pick apart those pieces, that's when you really get to appreciate how cool a lot of little things are in these maps.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Urban Undergrowth's got a lot of that. It's the aesthetics for that were made by C, who made the theme for the week. You know, a little similar to Derelict, a nice overgrown area coming off of Derelict. Came out a couple months before Urban Undergrowth. Got to retry a different kind of overgrown area.
Yeah. So, are there any other comments anyone else wants to add about any of the maps before I move on to showing off the top 2?
Probably good.
Nothing on my end.
Alright, so let's go on to the winners. So, second place for Best Aesthetics was CC5 as the CC5. CC5, well, as I mentioned earlier, I really like the transition between all of them and the additions that they added to each of these segments. I really like how well everything flows together, and it does everything. It feels really well connected together. It doesn't feel like anything's really shoehorned, and I think it's just really nice put together. Really well made for aesthetics.
Yeah, really, it really stands out in terms of there are obviously no big weaknesses. CC5 really does its best to elevate every single section in it. It improves on everything, honestly. Every single level that's in CC5, it's re-released in CC5. It just gets that extra layer polish. You can see it in week 1 has changed quite a bit. Week 3 has probably the most improvements, especially in terms of all the little scripts that are added specifically for CC5, like particles and all that. I'm a little biased on this one in terms of I'm aware of, you know, all the scripts that I made for the level. So I just happen to know what I did for the aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
So good job to all the aesthetics guys on CC5.
Really good work to everyone there. And the winner for Best Aesthetics of the Year is Chronostatic Arbor Redux by Arb. As mentioned, this map was, well, kind of got help from 4 people. I already mentioned what I thought a lot about the aesthetics for this. I think it's just, well, really pretty, and I like it, and I like the contrast between foreground and background.
Yeah, a surprise standout in terms of you know, really breaking down how people view the levels. Arb wowed in chat.
Yeah.
Happy to win some awards. But yeah, it was a great group effort. It's one of the people working on it. Shoutouts to Arb adapting Big Diesel's original theme. So, as I said, Big Diesel made the original theme for week 1. Arb made his own map and adapted the theme. Arb wasn't exactly so sure where to go with it. And then I stepped in, it was my turn. I think what I added was a lot of the detail to like scaffolding and vines, and I was like, so here's like a vertical slice area of what I did over here with the windows or stuff that Arb already had down there. And then I told Arb, like, you know, let's run with this. Made the level darker. Arb works on it again. He, you know, polishes it up, looks really nice. Then Ipan added into the mix. Member number 4 was like, you know what, this looks pretty good already, but let's make it look really good. Ipan really added that final touch to everything, like the piping and you know, all those backgrounds behind the windows. It's really an interesting group effort. You know, more than any other section in CC5, the intro to CC5, Chronostatic Arbor Redux, really got the most attention, and it deserved it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good
one
job,
thing
Buzz.
that stood out for me personally about Chronostatic Arbor Redux was that it's like a type of art style or art direction that we haven't really had before. There's like all the other maps are very pretty, but a lot of them are also like, okay, I sort of know this type of thing. And Chronostatic Arbor was managed to look very pretty while also being something very new. So it scored highly for me personally on the creativity aspects.
I'm a huge fan when it comes to maps doubling down on their style and being unique in that way.
Yeah. So, we're now actually on to the final category. The overall best map of the year. Good news, guys. There's going to be a lot more replays to show off, so it's not just going to be only the slideshow. So,
Yeah, so for best map overall, this obviously encompasses best gameplay and best aesthetics nominees and some other ones that they might not have been nominated for something else, but they obviously stand out. In this case, we have 9 maps that made the overall finalists, and we had the same kind of scoring system. We used some criteria to eventually score how all this stuff works. Simply put, we simplify aesthetics and gameplay into their own criteria. So, how do you value the level's aesthetics? How do you value its style? Refer to the aesthetics kind of stuff. Similarly, gameplay. Is it fun to play and is it fun to keep going? Does it flow well? That kind of stuff obviously should be represented in best map of the whole year. Synergy, again, how well do aesthetics and gameplay combine? When it comes to one of the top maps, ever really, when you're talking about the best maps and good game design in general, you're really looking for how well everything complements everything else. So we really want to value how well that kind of stuff goes together. How well do aesthetics and gameplay combine? It was mentioned a little bit in each category, how well do they combine? Well, that obviously should matter in terms of all map. How well does it combine? We also value the identity of the map. Does the map have its own personality? Is it memorable? Does it use Dustforce aspects like in a new way? How unique is it? Does it stand out for being unique? If it's not necessarily a unique map, is it high quality at what it's trying to do? All of those kinds of questions addressed under how well does the map stand out for its identity? Is this the map? If you're gonna represent, this kind of map to anyone else, is this the map that you're gonna recommend to them? Are you gonna talk about this map for what it's known for? What is the map known for? All of those kinds of topics, really, when you're talking about good maps, those are the kind of things that you want to bring up. And finally, first impression also matters for every map, not just a gameplay or aesthetics thing. It's first impression. First impression really is what dictates if someone's gonna bother to play the level more. Is the level understandable? How is it the first time you play it? As a judge, it might be a little hard to figure out, like, how did I feel the first time I played it a while ago? But we're asking these judges to step into the shoes of, different kinds of players, not just themselves, and really try to value it for the map as a whole. How good is the level really when you really break it down? What can you really comfortably say is the best map of 2023? And a lot of these maps that are on the list, we've already talked about them before. I think were there any of these that were nominated for something else so far?
That weren't. I think all of them were already nominated. So everything has also been nominated. So
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of these before.
So I guess, I mean, since we've done that, I'm probably not going to mention too much myself because I've done a lot of talking already. It's just going to be repeating points. So, is anyone else?
Is there anything else that stands out about any of these?
I guess
we got Blue Shift, standout map, last week DLC 4.
Yeah.
Chronostatic Arbor Redux by Arb. First section of CC5. CC5 itself. Derelict by C. Derelict was one of the first standout maps of the year. It came out, I think, in February. Not too long after the 2022 awards. Derelict came out and we're like, that's a contender. You know, I can already name it already. That's gonna be a contender for best map of 2023. Iliad by Epon.
I have something I guess I kind of want to mention about Derelict that I guess more personal touch for me. So this is a bit more personal for me, but Derelict was actually one of the first maps I saw on Atlas. I joined the Dustforce server a few weeks before Derelict came out, and Derelict came out right around the time that I started. That was after, I think I was either around or after I got Yada, so I was starting to take the game a bit more seriously. And for me personally, Derelict being such a high quality hard map was always a map for me I could be like, whoa, this looks cool. This looks fun to play. This looks like a fun goal to grind towards to, like, you know, be able to go for it. And, well, when I played it, it's a fun map. And I'm pretty sure me a year ago who saw the map for the first time would be proud that I'm actually able to play it now. Good map. I think it's really well done. It's a really nice map.
Oh yeah. We have the next 3 maps we've already talked about. The standout maps from each week, appropriately also nominated, perhaps, for best map. A lot of CC5 favoritism by the judges somehow. Iliad, Nazara Synthesis by Simon, Prism Tower by me. Sandstone by C. You know, in December, kind of like Derelict being in February, we have the bookend for C maps. We got a C sandwich. C starting off strong and ending strong, and all the maps in the middle.
Yep. I guess for Sandstone, I do want to touch on it. I didn't mention much about the gameplay, but I think the gameplay on Sandstone is actually really fun. It does take a bit to learn at times, but once you learn it, for me, Sandstone is just such a fun map to grind and play. I mean, the 4-hour stream I did earlier this month where I was just playing Sandstone, I mean, that just probably shows how much I find it fun. I think Sandstone is actually a really enjoyable map too. I think it's a C map. It has a lot of polish. It's a lot of fun to grind. I think it's just, you know, it's a fun map. Yeah. I really like it too.
A lot of people love C maps. A lot of people love the gameplay. And finally, Urban Undergrowth, also the DLC 4 standout by Camel and C. Team top players represented pretty well. Team top map makers.
Yep.
What was the other thing I was gonna say? There's something else.
I think you were saying something about Italy before I went to go add something about Derelict, but I don't think wait, I don't know. Were you gonna say something about Italy?
Okay. No, it wasn't that. Oh, yeah, I remember. So before we get into the top 5, so the top 5 were recognized of the 9 finalists. We have just another statement. Even though some of these may not have been nominated in some categories, they were all very close on the cutoff in both aesthetics and gameplay. Innovative not as represented this year in terms of best map overall, but we just have so many high quality maps that came out that, you know, you got to cut them off somewhere. But all of these maps are really standing out in both aesthetics and gameplay, if not even in both categories already.
Yep, it was hard to make the cutoff. There are so many maps I feel like that just deserve the spot to win, the deserve finalists, deserve to be in the map pack. It's just there's a lot of really good maps this year, and I just want to give a massive props to the community for just being able to make so many great maps this year. And unless anyone else,
little window, you can keep going.
so I guess before I go to the next slide, is there anything else anyone wants to bring up about these maps? Any comments that they haven't yet added?
Yeah, I'll talk about a little bit more about how we got to this point. So the process that we had to choose the best maps of the year, including the best map pack, the best of 2023 map pack. So it's a fairly lengthy process. We went through all of the maps for the entire year, all the eligible maps on Atlas. If it came out this year, last year it was eligible. Every single map on the list of those visible maps on Atlas got looked at by multiple judges. So it needed to get passed by multiple judges in order to move on to or move past the first round. So we got a quick round one. We look at all the maps, we decide what has a chance, what doesn't have a chance. We just eliminate roughly a little bit over half of Atlas real quick. No big deal. Take a few ramens out of there that probably don't have a chance. Then we have even more judges look at each of the maps, try to nominate them for various categories, and also try to rate them, try to rank them by how much they have a chance of being included in the map pack. And during that process, if you think it stands out above even map pack inclusion, you can nominate it for best overall, among other categories. For each category, including overall, we look at the list of nominees, the top maps that were nominated for each category. We have a big list of those. We trim those down. We just, as a group, agree on these are the nominees that made it into the finalists round. Now we have the finalists, and we're gonna more thoroughly look at them. We're looking at them more and more each step of the way. We have like 4 to 6 judges roughly per category per map, looking at all of this stuff. So we it's a bit of a lengthy process, but we take our time. Very thorough in terms of looking at all these maps.
Yep. I can confirm.
And then we got to take out all the map makers. You're like, all right, I guess you made CC5. You're not allowed to judge after this point.
Yep.
But yeah, we got good representation from CC5 and C here in these finalists. Every map has a little bit of C in it.
Yep. So, I mean, without further ado, I guess
top 5.
Top 5. I guess one final check. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up? I'll take that as a no. All right. So, I guess the other thing I want to mention is after the map is announced, so in between each maps, we're gonna announce the winner, and then we're gonna show a replay off of the map, the SS world record of the map. So, the first map, ranked number 5, best map of 2023, was Blue Shift by C. Let me go get Dustforce up and transition. But Blue Shift was the 5th best map due to, I've already brought it up what it was. Let me get the replay real quickly. Here. Turn music and then send and then watch replay. This was a very fun map to play and grind. Another very beautiful looking map too. Definitely deserving of its spot.
Shoutouts to Fishy for grinding this for what at the time is a very impressive, even better than invert key.
Yep. 27.949. Very fast run.
Yeah,
Right.
Blue Shift really stands out as a DLC 4 map that in some ways kind of set the tone for CC5 and DLC 5. You know, we didn't normally have incredibly linear levels in DLC, but Blue Shift was a more standard kind of C map that really helped show that a lot of people do want that kind of thing, even in DLC, even though it's very linear. And that's been the direction that we've been trending towards for a while now, in terms of not having overly complex maps in DLC, and also having some more representation of linear. And this is one of the most linear. Is the theme itself by C was narrow. C made the aesthetic theme for all the other levels that all the other teams used the aesthetic theme, and had to use the narrow theme in some way. So great finale to DLC 4. This was the final boss map of it.
It was, yeah, a very nice way to break up it was nice to have a more linear map as opposed to all of them being very routing heavy for a lot of DLC 4. Yeah. So,
and the hardest key of DLC 4.
Oh yeah, the Inver key was
Good
hard.
final boss.
Really good final map. So let's go back to the slides. So the fourth best map of 2023 was Derelict by C. This is going to be a very long one. The world record, which is held by Skyhawk,
Yeah, let's watch the long replay.
it is 4.5 minutes long, and Skyhawk's run is pretty good. So this is Derelict. This is very hard. Well, a very, very hard map, and from my time grinding it, while I grinded it for a bit, it is very fun, and I'm probably gonna try and go for an SSF on this sometime in the coming few days, hopefully for stream.
At the moment, we're sitting at 5 SSs, I believe, 1
Yeah.
AS.
Yep. Recently, I also want to give a shout out to
Maybe
Glass
switch
as
to
well.
Discord.
Oh fuck it! Oh wait, did I not switch scenes? Oh, oops. Should I restart replay then?
Yeah.
All right. My apologies, guys. Thought
It's not a big deal.
Alright, my apologies. Let's go to Derelict. There's
Alright, we got the apple juggling that we're about to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, that is pretty unique in terms of like best maps of the year. Usually apple juggling in maps is more like reserved for ramens or meme maps of some kind, but C did a very good job in turning it into a more serious endeavor in this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, apples really stand out because you really don't see apples used in very polished maps, particularly like this. So being able to incorporate it into C's normal style of gameplay, still being fairly difficult throughout, and managing that apple gameplay with the Derelict's pacing, very well done overall. Obviously very hard, very challenging, but that's very appropriate considering the kind of level that it is. So, definitely one of the hardest levels that came out this year. There are not too many hard levels. This might be... no, this is not the hardest.
It's up. I'd say easily
definitely
top 5.
It's up there.
Top 5, maybe top 3.
Highly recommend that people give it more than a shot.
Yeah.
I should definitely encourage people to retry it at the very least. You will have to practice certain parts, like the apple sections that you're seeing on screen. Try to memorize a lot of stuff. But that's the kind of detail that we're getting into when we talk about D level. Derelict really shows it off.
Yeah. Also,
got those little touches of polish everywhere.
I want to
especially
also
on this light section.
I want to also give a shout out to Glass, who also recently assessed it. He was the most recent person to assess it, and just shout out to Glass for assessing it recently. And I haven't assessed it, but I have put a lot of time and practice into it. I just haven't really done a lot of full runs. I think for me, one of the things that stands out to me the most is in this map, there are basically every section is just like not bad. Every part here is fun. It's all really, I think for me, it's all really fun. And for someone who hasn't done anything with apple juggling, I think it is a pretty fun way to be like, hey, this is how you do apple juggling. This is a nice map to introduce you to apple juggling. And the non-apple parts are also really fun too as well. The one also thing I want to give props for is a lot of maps that are hard with apples. The main gimmick is, well, hey, it's just apples, and the entire map is usually themed around apple juggling and stuff. Derelict has a really nice mix of both non-apple gameplay and pretty fun apple gameplay. I think it is a really nice map. We aren't going to show off the secret here because, well, the secret is very long, and it wouldn't really be much of a secret if we showed it all off. But if you ever do wanna, you know, go exploring, go mess with some apples, play this map, fun map.
Yeah, I think in some ways you kind of don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, you know, just kind of trust us that it's detailed. This is kind of the place to talk about it. So if you're interested in not being spoiled, don't listen to me for the remainder of this replay. Kind of mute for a moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't imagine that many people are actually gonna be. But let's talk about the snake a little bit. The snake and all of the secret kind of stuff that was in the level. It's obviously very difficult and it's kind of challenging to play through the level as a whole. We have, you know, a really polished kind of side game in the middle of the level. At the moment, no one's really fully gone through it. There have been a few kind of attempts, but it's also kind of so long that there's almost too much stuff in it. Definitely the kind of thing that you want to just explore. You can also just in editor go to that area and just check it out yourself. You don't have to play the whole level. Just play as the snake for a while. Enjoy all the little polish that C's got. But yeah, just use editor. I'm sure all of the people are unmuted now.
So, again, before we move on, I just want to give a shout out to Skyhawk, Fishy, Vergit, Wazi, and Glass for being the 5 people to SS this map at the time. And shout out to Game Duck as well for being extremely close as well. This is a really good map, and I hope to see more SSs on this in the coming few weeks and months.
Yeah, shout out to Giving Up at AS.
Great work, everyone. Great work, everyone. And let's go back to this. Let's go back to the slides. So, the number 3 best map of the year is Prism Tower by Zonda. Prism Tower. Yep. Prism Tower, again, really fun map. One of my personal favorite sections, both aesthetically and gameplay, in CC5. I think it's a really satisfying grind to do, and I think it's really fun to play. We aren't going to show the replay for this yet, so, but yeah.
The new map maker of the year with the short force.
Yeah.
Debut map. Be nice on Atlas.
Yeah. You gotta be nice, guys. And then, number 2, best map of the year is Chronostatic Arbor Redux by Arb. Again, as we mentioned with other stuff, just super fun gameplay to go through, really beautiful art style in my opinion. I think it's just, well, another really good high quality map.
Yeah, pretty good map. Not really surprising many people at this point of the show.
Yeah.
We might as well move straight on to number 1.
So,
predictable.
Number 1, the best map of 2023 is Cyber Complex 5 by Alex, Arb, Big Diesel, Epon, Simon, Temp, Ukkies, Camel, and Zonda. Congrats E9 for making such an amazing map and stuff. Really good map. Great work, everyone.
Hey, again.
And the reason why
if
we
any
didn't...
of the DC5 map makers want to join Discord and celebrate, I guess, live, you can join any one of the voice channels, and I'll drag you into this channel.
So,
if you want to talk about your inclusion.
So for CC5, we're going to be showing off Fishy's replay on the world record, which is a pretty long replay. There's going to be custom music and all that stuff too. So let's go swap over to Dustforce. It is Well, let's go take a look.
This is a really high quality world record
Yeah.
in DLC 5.
The 602 is just absolutely
just-
insane.
Just barely not sub 6.
Yeah.
And again, if any CC5 map makers want to join the call, feel free. I'll drag you in.
Look-
Just join one of the Dust Force channels, voice channels.
Well, let's start. There we go. Well, I guess Zonda, the floor is yours to talk about this map because, well, you're the one that led the project.
All right. Well, this is a pretty good map. When I said earlier when I was talking with map makers about map design for this, I really wanted to push quality. CC5 was always on the mind when it came to when we were making this map. You know, it wasn't just about DLC 5. We knew going in, this is CC5. We're trying to make this a special map. We're trying to put these maps together in a very satisfying way. We're really trying to focus on what connects these maps. We're trying to do unique things with connecting maps. We want to really blow people away with not only the surprise of, wow, these maps go together, but wow, I can't believe these maps go together like this. That's crazy. You know, that's an even bigger wow than the wow from and honestly, we did a pretty good job at it. I feel like, you know, starting with the ARB section, that ended up shaping the rest of week 1 and you know, CC5 as a whole, deservedly earning second for overall, you know, best individual segment. You know, all the other maps really do follow suit, and even though some of them may not have, you know, even though they didn't all get nominated in various things, every single CC5 map was, they all made it into the best of 2023 individually. It was really thanks to all the effort from everybody on the team. We all kind of did our own thing, but we really added that style to it and made sure it all fit together nicely. And I think we did a really good job at trying to do something unique with every single thing. You know, every map has its own personality while still very clearly being part of CC5. And then everybody gets to enjoy the level.
Yep.
And a kind of funny thing, when I was talking about the level design with people like Arb and Econ right from the beginning, like, I'm trying to get across the idea, like, I'm not asking for a DLC level, I'm asking for CC5. Like, I'm looking for quality. I'm talking about a map that, you know, we're really pushing the polish. And not only do I want this map to be good, I want to win awards. And Arb can certainly relate to this conversation at some point. It's like, I want the Oscar bait of Dust Force maps in maps. And I think he did a pretty good job. Just with everyone else, obviously, as well. But I didn't have that conversation with Absolute, but very funny quote that definitely holds true. Definitely proud of that coming true. I'll definitely remember that quote. I did really want the Oscar bait Dust Force maps.
I also think a lot of the technical stuff behind this map too is really cool, which Zonda explained in his recapturing for the DLC 5 on the Dust Force Media channel earlier this year. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, you might notice there are actually a lot of effects that are special to the SS pace of this map. So you might notice the prisms, the big prisms. These are connected to gears in the background in week 3. They rotate with the prism, and they speed up whenever you hit other gears. They speed up when you super. When you're on SS pace, you can notice the effect more. So there are all kinds of different little feedback in the level that responds to when you do a heavy on it. Every single big prism in the level does something. You know, it always, you know, makes the gear stop and makes more particles happen in the level. This is only possible as well thanks to the Dust Mod update that C was able to put together. I talked with C at length throughout the CC5 development cycle, and I was like, hey, can we have custom particle effects like this, and can you handle sublayer visibility and all that other stuff? Can we get this in the new Dust Mod update? So lots of cool little features came about thanks to CC5 and those kinds of requests. C being the 10th CC5 map maker in that way.
It truly was just the C sweep this year.
Yeah.
A lot of really nice effects too here, especially since it's the combination of everything. There's a particle effects for each week going on.
Yeah, we got colors represented when you're on when you're on SS case. There are particles that represent each week. For the tower's case, the ending, you can see the outside of the tower have the colors from each week, and that ends up being more and more integrated over to the map. And you don't see that just in base Prism Tower. It's a little bit more normal, but it has more feedback in CC5 that makes it even more special. Really makes it more than the sum of it, which was the whole part of the idea. And everyone that every single time that I see someone do the ending for the first time, they're just like, whoa.
It's so cool. I can't get over the ending. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I really wanted some kind of cool title card at the end.
And you got it. Such a fun map.
Only to get covered up by the scoreboard no matter what you do.
Yeah. And here it's fine. No, it's not fine.
Yeah.
Not fine.
Pretty good map. Good job to all the map makers.
Mm-hmm.
GG easy.
I just definitely recommend that if anyone here has an SS CC5, I definitely recommend going for it, or going for a faster time if you already have an SS on it. It's really fun. I think sub 7 is a really obtainable goal for a lot of people, that if they want to grind long maps, it's pretty fun to do. There's a lot of people who can do it. And congratulations to everyone for participating this year, being in the community, playing this game, making maps. Y'all are all awesome. Thank you.
We should switch back to the slides.
I will.
Because that's the next slide.
I forgot about that. Oops. Congratulations,
yeah, that
everybody.
Is the next slide.
Oops. Congratulations, everybody. We did it. So,
all right.
Move on to the next slide.
Yeah, let's see some good 2024 maps.
So,
yeah, 2023 in summary. We're not quite there yet. We're talking about the judges a little bit.
Yep.
Here's the people that were judges. Again, as I said, all of the if you made a map, you weren't allowed to make a vote on it when it came to categories and votes that counted and all that.
I love Issa's
really,
comments.
really good job to everybody.
I love what Issa posted. Shoutouts to me for being in the community for like a week and already being the host of the stream. It's so true. I am
My computer not being able to turn on right now.
I am basically just I went from literally not talking until like after DLC 4 to hey guys, I'm running the stream now, lol. But yeah, I'll read the names off. So, but yeah, congrats, thank you again to Arbitrary Asian, Avenged Ruler, Big Diesel, Glass, myself, Issa, JVC, Rodent, Starwave, Jake, Camel, and Zana. I don't know why I read the full name for a lot of people there, but congratulations to everyone, and thank you again for all your help. This could definitely not gone nearly as well if it wasn't for everyone's help on this.
Yeah, big project. I enjoy putting this together at the end of the year. We spent a lot more time talking about it than I originally expected.
Yeah.
But I don't let that slow it down. I don't let the flow stop, I guess. Much like CC5.
I guess. Yeah. So what's the next slide?
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. We got
2023.
2023 You know, very much the year of ramens. Very clear that Atlas has progressed in this way. A little bit less competitive as a year, but we had some very high quality maps from C and the DC5 set of maps. We have a lot of other good maps that were nominated out there. You know, all the winners and all that cool maps. Stalling as I look up some of the interesting answer from the poll. But yeah, a lot of people like ramen, it turns out.
Yep.
A lot of people think that it was the year of the rabbit for some reason. Maybe 2024 will have the next year of something.
Yep.
Yeah, good year for ramen and all that.
Yeah. When should I swap to the next slide?
No.
Okay. This one's your meme pack. So, last year there was a meme pack for 2022. This year there's a brand new one as well, filled with a bunch of meme maps that were nominated as well. Is it already out?
I hope so.
Okay.
And if not, then Skyhawk's sweating.
Okay,
It is out.
Skyhawk says
Alright.
it's out. I'm gonna go update Dustmon and check real quickly.
Yeah, go update Dustmod and you'll be able to find it right here. I highly recommend that you guys stream the meme maps. You know, go through the best of 2023. Check out the 2023 meme map pack. This is where it is if you update Atlas. If you want to stream it, we're gonna need to raid someone in a moment. So go stream it and you know, have fun with it.
Yep.
Time to get your streams ready. And you too can get however many viewers.
JVC also mentioned he was planning on doing some stream too. Was he planning on doing
Nah,
it
you
right
could
after?
do that.
Oh,
I would have done that instead.
okay, yeah, the map is there. I just checked, it's there. So. Let's go.
In addition, there's also a tome for the finalists of, or not the finalists, the winners for the map competition for 2023. That has joined the map competition tome list at this point. So you need another way to load CC5, I guess. There it is. It's only in at least like 4 tomes now.
I'm starting to.
I'm sure more, perhaps.
I'm just starting to think people like CC5. I'm starting to think.
Yeah. But yeah, go play some memes and go stream it. One more slide. We got what's going to happen in 2024. What do people think that's going to be the year of? Well, I hear it might be the year of Dragon from some people. They like to answer this question that way. Some people think they're going to be new people join us. If that's the case, then you're going to have to help reach out to find these newcomers. Maybe a task, maybe marathons, maybe even Dark Force could show up. We do have the most anticipated things that could happen. I have a couple ideas for things that I want to do. At least one of them is a secret that you can't know about. One of them's a less secretive secret that I'm not gonna say now, but some of you might know about. One of them's not a secret. That's DLC 6 is gonna happen in March. Every 6 months, we're gonna have a DLC. We're gonna change it up once again. I don't have anything to tease about DLC 6 at the moment, but I have hinted that you can expect it to be a little similar to the final week of DLC 5 in terms of scheduling. So that's something that I'm going to make pretty apparent. If I had to guess, we're going to have there are going to be 3 times 2 week phases. You know, they're not really weeks anymore. They're going to be like, you know, maps release in the middle or near the end of a week. So instead of getting like a break week, you have a break few days, and then you have a longer amount of time to play the levels. Which, if you think about it, might imply something about some of the levels that we're gonna have. But don't worry, it's not gonna be CC5 again. We're not. It's not gonna be CC6. So that's a bit of a teaser for DLC 6. What else is there coming up? I'm looking forward to the potential Nexuses that could come out in 2024. I'm really interested in doing some of that stuff myself. If anyone is interested in making any polished maps like for Nexuses or group projects like that, I recommend speaking up in the map making channel. You can also reach out to me if you're interested in if I might have something up my sleeve for DLC, because I might, by the way. I feel like I'm gonna do something simple for what I do this time, but I'm always gonna do something special for DLC. Cyber Complex 6 is a topic as well. So a little not news. It's very much a lack of news on CC6. At the very least, I don't know of the CC6 project at the moment. Just being open about it. If I were to do Cyber Complex 6, I wouldn't do it until the end of 2024. I would also suggest making it. I would obviously, if I were part of it, I would try to make it as polished as CC5. I'd probably try to make it a little bit harder and a little bit longer. If anyone is interested in a Cyber Complex 6, it's a bit early to start thinking about it, in my opinion. I feel like we should probably take at least, a year between CC releases. I would be interested in working on the next one. So if I don't hear anything about it, then at the very least, say after DLC 7, I might ask around about CC6. So if anyone's interested in those kinds of projects, that's what I'm thinking about. I am interested in high quality project, group projects where we can polish something together. Let's release a Nexus together. Isn't that a great idea for DLC? But you never know what I have planned. Because I can always be throwing you off.
True.
Yeah, I like to work on group maps together. So let's see if anyone's streaming. Anyone else have anything they want to say?
I'll check inbox.